Let's get a fucking
he's
cue,
avoiding the
okay?
simple question. I asked a simple being.
Okay, we'll have hold on, resistance. Resistance, I'll have you go first. After resistance, Shaw, and then Florida, if Florida want to get it.
Shaw is raising up an infraction. He's saying that he doesn't like that there is limited freedom of speech in Iran, in the country, the law. And what I'm saying is, being that he mentioned that he is a Sunni Muslim, that he is of the Aqla Sunnah wal Jama'ah, such as knows, as well as I know, even within Islam, Muslims cannot just go around whatever we want. We also have restrictions on things that we can say. There is no such thing as you could just say whatever you want. So there is a limit of freedom of speech. And I gave him a perfect example. As a Muslim, we are not allowed to go around, for example, and say things like, oh, if he's a homosexual, that's fine. Don't worry about it. If you want to be gay, you can just be gay. Muslims can't go around saying this. He knows this, and that's why he didn't want to answer. So we also have limited freedom of speech. Also, not allowed to just go around saying whatever we want, especially if it could cause harm.
Okay, you finished? Okay, when you talk about homosexuality, you're not talking about normal people. We're talking about normal things. For me, a man marrying a man, that's not normal. We're talking about something normal, something natural, something that is normal. For me, homosexuality.
That's natural. A law in the
Resistance.
No, I didn't interrupt you. For me, a man loving a man, that's unnormal. That's unnatural. This man gotta go and have go to hospital or that's not a person. We're talking about someone real, something exists. For me, homosexual is not a person. It's like, okay. Also, you say Muslims don't have the freedom to say what they want.
Whatever they want.
Okay. That is exactly the point. Freedom of expression means allowing people to express opinions you disagree with. Not only opinions that you approve of. Because if a Muslim says, I do not support homosexuality because of my religious beliefs, that is an opinion. So you don't have to agree with it. But freedom of speech means allowing him to express it. Like to say, I do not support homosexuality. That's a freedom of speech. And I cannot support something that is against my religious belief. And I agree with that. But also, this example is not valid because when you talk about women with a woman, and like pride, LGBTQ, these people are fucking sick. So they should go and to hospital or fuck themselves. We do not support this kind of people. They're only he and she, man, woman. Other races are abnormal, sick, so they go fuck themselves.
Well, then you're contradicting yourself because the example you gave on
fuck gays, fuck all gays.
Hey,
real quick, hold up.
Okay. We're supposed to have Florida though, but don't cut off my moderators. Shar was speaking. Somebody just started speaking over my moderator here. We can have some respect on the stage. Go ahead, Shar, and then Florida.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I was just gonna say, so resistance. If you were gonna finish up, you can finish up. But Florida was next, and then Ida.
No, what I was going to say simply was that he just contradicted himself because number one, in Iran, then that's what they believe. They also believe, because it doesn't exist to them, that a Sunni should be in government in the Aqlubit in a Shiite-run country. That's number one. And then number two, why would a Muslim who is following the Sunnah want to be in the government of Shiites when we disbelieve in their belief anyway and in their Aqidah? So once again, you're still contradicting yourself. It doesn't even make sense. What freedom would you want to be in something that we are opposed against? Make it make sense.
This example is so weird because there is no comparison between Shia and homosexuality. We're talking about something different.
All right.
Please let me
All right, it's
talk.
Florida.
Okay.
Wait, Ida, is it Florida?
I want Ida to go before me because
Okay,
she
go
was about this topic as
Thank
it's
you very
related
much,
to
Felix.
the religion.
Very nice of you. Very nice of you. Okay, Iran is a country, is a big country, is a massive. It's not a Shia country. The government is Shia, and that's their ideology. In Iran, we have the Christian, we have the Jewish, we have the Zoroastrian, we have Islamic phobia, we have
That
Shia,
ain't
we
that
have
ain't no
Sunni.
religion. What the hell?
Yes, and we have Baha'i, and all the religions are living here. We have church, and the people doesn't care about the ideology of our government. And as a Persian girls, you can see I can talk freely about everything because we gain our freedom by ourselves because we are fighting with their ideology. I am free and I gain it and I paid the consequences. Iran is not just only the Shia country, we have a lot of religions in this country that they are living
Excuse me,
together.
Aida, but Shia is not a religion. A religion is Islam. Shia is like a sect of Islam.
I don't practice any religion and I don't have
No,
a
I'm just
religion.
correcting you. When you say we have many religions, we have Shia. Shia is not a religion. Shia is like a sect of Islam. It's like part of Islam, like which is wrong, of course. Because we
I don't care about radical like you because
I'm not radical. I'm not radical. I'm not
You
radical.
are
You
radical.
are
You are
and
radical.
fanatics.
You're
It's
radical
radical
because
to
you're
say correct.
I'm
interrupting
radical
her.
because I don't support gays.
You're radical because you're interrupting.
I'm radical.
Well,
If
You're
I-
radical because you're
If not
interrupting her.
supporting gays means
You're
radical, yes,
interrupting
I'm radical.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah, that's enough. We're gonna allow others to speak. I keep having to reset and ask people to have decorum. If we can't follow that, we're gonna have to come up with a different solution here. But Ida, you can go ahead and finish.
Oh, here, that's, really interesting that a person living in another continent and doesn't have any idea about my country and don't know how many ethnic groups and religions for thousands of years living together. And the people are totally separated from our government. And he trying, to fight between the Shia and Sunnis, and it belonged to, 500 years ago or 6 centuries, something like that. And he's not educated. He talking really, opposite. He puts the flag of the Iran regime and the missiles, but he is not Iranian. And as an original Iranian, he attacks to me and questioning me. Like the Pamela, you say I am resources and I can educate her. I can educate him as a local, as a someone, living in this land, before Jesus Christ.
Sure it'd be, man.
That's it.
Okay, I would like to add information for you, Ida, because you're from Iran. You
Sure,
know that.
Can I go?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Florida. You got it.
Thanks. I thought something was really funny. When Resistance originally asked Shah the question that he asked, it was like, why can't Sunni Muslims go out in the street and be like, homosexuality is okay? And Shah was like, because I would never say that. Because homosexuality is not okay. because homosexuality is not normal. Because homosexuality is sick and perverse. Because I would never say is why I'm not allowed to say
Valerie,
it.
if you're questioning the Shah of Iran, we are
Miss,
questioning
you're
about
interrupting and you
70
got
years
upset when they
ago.
did it to you. That doesn't make any sense.
Just if you don't mind.
You let that
It's
fucking white
70
woman
years
interrupt.
ago.
Resistance. Weak ass nigga.
She is not
White
white. She is not white.
The Persians are considered white in America. Fun fact.
No.
Yes,
no,
they are.
So what
She
if
looks-
she's
They are.
white?
No, she
Hello?
look.
What if she's
Hello,
white?
hello. She
What?
look. Hello.
What?
We
Hello. Hello.
What
Hello?
if she's white?
Decorum.
Fuck you.
You're not
Fuck
gonna-
you.
You
Fuck
fuck your
you.
mother.
Look me now. Fuck you, bitch.
Your mother. Anyways. Sorry, guys.
Can I finish? All right. Look, I thought that was a hilarious rebuttal to what was asked of him, which is like, instead of being able to address why he's not allowed to say it in Sunni sort of like doctrine or quote unquote law, for lack of a better term, he just was like, well, I would never say it because I don't believe it. I thought that was a really interesting part of the conversation. And then, like, I was curious. I looked this up. You know, it seems like 85% roughly of the Iranian population are Shia Muslim, and then like a very small 15% of the rest of the population are early diverse amongst their religious beliefs. And I thought, like, well, if that's the case, if 85% of them are already Shia, why wouldn't they support a sort of theocratic rule, right? And it turns out that it might just be something inherent in the doctrine of Islam, that the state ought not be some sort of bureaucratic overlord of dictating doctrine and morality and laws based on religious fiat.
No.
Hold on, Emrose, can I finish?
Real quick, Imran, you can Florida, but Florida got to finish. Okay?
Because I looked, it says how many Iranians support theocracy. And it says independent.
But yeah, no, Florida, then Ida, then Emily. So Ida wanted to respond to Florida.
And I could go after the last person if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, then resist.
So it says only about 13 to 15% of the Iranian population support the current Islamic theocracy as is, and that the main reason why is because the regime has politicized, corrupted, and bastardized Islamic faith in the pursuit of its own geopolitical power controlling pursuit. And I'm just really now very interested in, like, why is it wrong for Shah to come up here and say he doesn't like that Iranians don't have quote unquote freedom of religion, freedom of speech, when we all, I mean, at least as Americans, understand what freedom of speech actually means is much more than just the ability to say being gay is okay. Freedom of speech is a huge blanket. It's a overly encompassing, vague sort of colloquial term that we use to consider freedom of thought, freedom of expression, freedom of association, freedom of the press, the right to be who you are, say what you want to say, so long as it's not putting somebody else in direct harm, so long as it's not causing someone else a direct risk. You're allowed to express your thoughts clearly and concisely, specifically, at least as it's known in the Western world. Your thoughts against the government cannot be held against you in court. You cannot be prosecuted for criticizing government in that sort of way. It's not to say that you can't. It's not to say that you can get away with yelling fire in a crowded theater or bomb in an airport. Because those types of things come with excess risk and like undue sorts of burdens that you're putting on public safety officials and the people that are inside the place. Like there's a fear and a risk associated when you do some dumb shit like that. But I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with Shah saying that like he appreciates freedom of speech in that regard, and that's why he doesn't support Iran as it is in the current form governed by the IRGC. And I guess to Ida, I just want to ask you, since you live there, you're Persian, you're a Muslim, I presume, like, what is it to you? Why is it that the Shia Muslims do not support theocratic rule despite preferring to live their own lives by that sort of governing rule in their own principle? Does that make sense?
I think your mindset is completely wrong. I am not Muslim. I think you didn't listen to me when I talked to the person with the flag of Iran. And we are fighting with our government. In January, thousands of people got killed by IRGC and even by foreign groups that support them. They kill the people and still execution continue. We are fighting with this government for 50 years. We don't wear hijab. We are driving. We are so educated. We have the right and we are very brave.
Person is a pedophile terrorist.
Can I go now?
Yeah.
I'm a Shia Muslim. I think I can answer that question.
No, Rose, you can go.
No, that's okay. I would like a Shia Muslim to say, but Florida, what you said, don't conflate the Iranian regime with the entire Shia faith. That is a great, awful mistake. Shia is a beautiful faith, just like every other Abrahamic faith or sect. And to try and emphasize and put the kind of a spotlight on that is extremely dangerous and should never be conflated as one of the same. The regime doesn't represent Shia on all its shape and form. And you can definitely criticize governments, even though the perception of Iran in the West is very different than what the truth is. It doesn't mean it's not an authoritarian theocracy. It is, but still, what we were sold in the West couldn't be further from the truth. And most importantly, please don't conflate the entire Shia faith with whatever injustices came out of the regime. That's labeling tens of thousands of millions of people that have nothing to do with any of that and have a beautiful way of practicing faith. It's just wrong to do. I'm sorry, Clark, please go ahead.
No, that's fine.
I was after her, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this is people that just come up here and say whatever they want. And this is what Iran, for an example, is trying to avoid. Because you have people such as this lady who just spoke, who is uneducated in the 12er faith. She knows nothing about, the Shiite belief. And it's dangerous. This is why the Muslims do not accept them and don't accept their Aqidah, their belief system. When people come up here and say these things when uneducated, these are the issues.
Is just as wrong as anti-Semitism.
Fuck you and your anti-Semitism. We don't care about that shit.
Sectarianism is just as wrong as anti-Semitism. You shouldn't allow it.
Once again, the issue is that the governing body of that country, no different than Europe, no different than America, they want to safeguard their laws, their faith, and their traditions according to the masses. That country It is primarily Shiite, 85% of it. They want to uphold their laws, their values, and their views. Just like in America, it's a farce about this freedom of speech. It doesn't exist. And as you see, there's people who are in, for example, the press, people from college campuses, people who live in who have been persecuted for speaking out against the government or things that the government doesn't agree with. And you made a perfect example, Chair, about it. Like, you can't just go, for example, can you go to the front of the White House and just fuck the president? I'm about to kill him. Can you do that? No, you can't. You will be arrested. It's freedom of speech to a limited point. And that's why the brother, when I asked him about whether, as a Sunni Muslim, can you go around and say, oh, there's not, he didn't want to answer. He went into circles. You know why? He knows that there is limited of speech in Islam because it can hurt other people or the society in whole. So this is why we have certain restrictions. It is no different than what the people in Iran, the governing body, is doing for their people.
Damn, resistance, he's still arguing your point as much as you're like, made that clear.
These people, they're hard-headed. You know what it is? They're used to colonialism. They think they're the rulers of everyone.
Okay, can I put in my 2 cents here, guys?
Yeah, it's on you. It's on you, Clark. And then real quick, before you go, Clark, real quick, Brownie and Ludwig, do you guys want to go after in that order?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Clark, Brownie, and Ludwig, and then after that, whoever wants to go, just.
I'll go after the last person, like in a circle.
Cool. Yeah, listen, resistance. What's funny about all that is I'm a Shia Muslim, and I agree with the resistance's point. This whole thing about the, I mean, even though resistance probably doesn't like Shia Muslims, but this whole thing.
I have no problem with them. I just don't believe in their Aqidah. But I have no problem. They are still Muslims, and they have to answer to Allah. I have no issue with the Shia.
Respect. Yeah, fair enough. And then in that case, yeah, no. Agree with resistance, man. Like this whole thing about, we just spent a bunch of time talking about like the internal politics of Iran, whether they're authoritarian or not, whether they control free speech or not, whatever. All of this is a red herring. In my opinion, all of this is just different ways of demonizing the Iranian regime. I'm old enough to remember when the war on terror all started back in before 2003, and they did the exact same thing. Saddam is harboring radicals. Saddam is harboring Al-Qaeda. We need to go and give them freedom. Look how unfree Iraq is. And all of that was just a build up to an invasion and a massive war that went on for I don't know how many years. So the exact same thing is happening in Iran. Like, frankly, the people who are on the Clubhouse always talking about, Iran isn't free, Iran is radical, we need to talk about how free Iran is. All of that is just building up acceptance and acquiescence to more demonizing of Iran. All of this is, like, we can agree or disagree with what the Iranian regime does, like we can do that with any other country. Like, if I go to Romania, I'm pretty sure I'm going to find things that the government does that I don't like. Does that mean I whip people up to say we should invade Romania? No, of course, that doesn't happen. Saudi Arabia is a very close ally of the United States. We don't hear social media and media organizations demonizing Saudi, even though their laws are sometimes a lot more archaic than Iran. But nobody's out here advertising or trying to make a case that we should all invade Saudi or that Saudi is radical. I've never heard somebody make the case that Saudi is radical, even though that can easily be done. That's not controversial to say that Saudi laws are just as radical or extremist or Islamist as Iran. But nobody ever makes that case. Because why? Because Saudi is within the sphere of influence of the United States, and it's in the US interest to keep Saudi stable as it is. And that's not our goal right now. Our goal right now is to destabilize Iran and prepare the public opinion for massive attacks against Iran. Yeah.
Is that your last submission?
I'll take questions. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, that's my last submission.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. It's on you, Ronnie.
Yeah, hello everybody. I will contribute later. Just Clark, that was great. I agree with everything you said. Well put, man. Now maybe let's listen to Greg.
Yeah, just to the point, freedom, I'll be short. Sean Strickland, those that know the UFC fighter, was banned from the UFC White House Freedom event. Huh? Why was that exactly? Because he said something about these baby killers called Israel. So that freedom of speech thing, it's the same thing with like Democrats and Republicans. It's a show, and you bought a ticket to the show. By believing that you're doing something, whether you voted for Democrats or Republicans. It's like giving a cow two options, left or right, and they both lead to the slaughterhouse. And somehow you believe like, oh, Iran, horrible. Oh, man, the Ayatollah, the Islamic spiritual leaders, they're horrible, making women cover their hair and shit. What's worse, women covering their hair? Or women going to the grocery store wearing a sports bra and booty shorts?
I can change my profile.
Can I finish?
Sure.
Can I just finish?
No,
Let him
great.
finish.
I'll show you.
Ida, let him finish. Let him finish, and then you can go after. Go ahead, love it.
So what's worse, in Iran, they're telling you to cover your hair, or allowing everything in the West, which is liberal as fuck, degeneracy. You gotta take a fucking DNA test, like who's the baby daddy, because you slept with like 6 million men, yada more. So it's not perfect in any country in the world. But when you look at like being conservative, protecting women and children, and somebody please bring up, oh, like Iran killed their own people. As if no other country, as in today, is doing that, right? So what you can say about Iran is like a 99.99% probability that I can say something along those freaking violations of human rights or limiting your freedom. I can say that about the U.S. So there's that.
You can look for my profile picture, and it's a cafe in the Tehran. And then I will change my profile picture. I am in the Caspian Sea, and it's winter. Just look at my profile picture, please, everyone. And then I will change to another one. Greg, did you see my profile picture? Am I wearing any hijab? Greg, I am talking with you.
Oh, you're asking me? No, I'm aware that it doesn't count for everywhere in Iran, that the rules don't count everywhere. I'm fully, I got a family member living in Iran, so I know what I'm about.
Okay, I will change my profile picture, and you can see how, you know.
My turn, I think, or hello?
Okay, great. It's another one.
Yeah, I'm fully aware, sister. I'm aware of like how much they're like gaslighting about like, Iran. I'm fully aware. I'm not a stranger to Iran.
I think we're just trying to say that the government is much more lenient than a lot of people think they are about hijab. Like they're not gonna kill women if they don't wear their heads. That's crazy. That's not happening.
Yeah, I was gonna say that obviously it would be probably the best for America and maybe even the world in terms of staying out of Iran, because I'm not so sure about their history, but it's highly likely that the Islamic regime was probably strengthened by America, Rumsfeld, and the entire world supporting Saddam Hussein in the Iran-Iraq war. And yeah, it wasn't just America. America gets the full blame, but it was the Soviet Union, it was the EU, it was Brazil, it was plenty of countries, so, and, that problem, maybe if the Iranian people wanted something slightly different, it might have been easier if it wasn't for, the Iran, Iraq war. It's, you have the whole type of, the Hitler paradox, basically. They're so powerful over there, and couple that with we'll kick the decaying structure over. So you have that paradox too, which is I think somewhat similar of what Saddam thought, his military thought. Yeah, I think the international community should probably stay out of what Iran is going through and stuff.
Yeah, I just, as far as the United States is concerned, it has always been our business, at least for the last 100 years, it's been our business, what everybody else is doing around the world. And largely as a result of the Afghan civil war and the Mujahideen forces that gathered to try to stove off the Soviets, the United States played a big factor in that. As a result, we contributed lots of guns, lots of money, lots of political influence and intelligence influence in that country during the Afghan civil war of the 80s. And although we successfully staved off the Soviets, once they left, there was a power vacuum in Afghanistan. And those same Mujahideen forces that came from across the region to try to fight off the Soviets, they ended up then fighting for power amongst themselves. It created the Taliban and and ISIS. It created these different factions that have, not ISIS, Al Qaeda, and it's always been foreign policy for the last 100 years of the United States to try to be the world's policeman and do what's best in the interest of Western ideology and modern democracy and American values and ideals and globalism and promoting peace and prosperity around the globe because it's the best way to deal with. And to an extent, there's something fundamentally correct about that in my heart of hearts. However, it's that same exact policy that's driven the United States that's only perpetuated and exponentially created more hatred and disdain for the United States because of that same foreign policy, right? It's that foreign policy that's like, when you're saving my people from other people, we appreciate you. But when you do anything wrong, we're going to get mad. And it's just like, it puts the United States in a position, it's a catch-22. It's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation. And I think just in the natural consequence of events of the world, it's probably best to just be damned when you don't, because damning when you do only alludes to more people hating you. At least when if you stay out of these issues for the most part, especially when it comes to donating money and weapons, when you're when you're providing direct support to these conflicts, is when there's a direct link between when something goes wrong, the U.S. is to blame. I'm cool with CIA fucking covert missions. We have the radio broadcast system across the Middle East that our CIA uses to perpetuate pro-Western and anti-regime narratives. That type of shit is fine. But when you start to, you can't typically get out of these situations without blood on your hands if you end up engaging in military conflict.
Can I throw in a 2 cents in there?
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Is that
Florida,
Dr. Rick or Clark? No, go ahead.
Clark. Florida, that's interesting that you say that. You mentioned something that's like, you said that for the past 100 years, America has put itself to be a policeman around the world to spread like democracy. Is that fair?
Along with other things, but yes.
Do you think that? So my question is like, this could be like a springboard to a different conversation. But do you think that America or the United States, the policy since World War II, let's call it, their foreign policy, was done with benign intentions, especially in the Middle East?
World War II foreign policy?
Post World War II. So
Post World War II foreign policy done with benign intentions. Benign,
like, do you think
like not significant?
No, like altruistic. Like American involvement in the Middle East and other places, Latin America. Do you think that American foreign policy involvement in those places, or American intervention in those places, and I'm not asking this as a gotcha. I'm actually curious what you think as an American.
I think it's rooted in altruism, but also ego and power as well, right? It's multifaceted. There's the altruistic sort of principle that like we in America live this way, and we think it's the best way. But then there's also a power dynamic involved where like, well, if we can impose certain ways of life and certain standards across the globe, then we're the ones that are making the decisions. We sit at the seat at the head of the table, right? Yeah. And if we don't, then someone else will.
Which of those two things do you think takes precedence?
Clark, excuse me for interrupting you, but Florida, unfortunately, what the U.S. thought about the democracy in the Middle East, and in the fact, the America ruined the democratic country in the Middle East and turned them to be radical and terrorist group like the Taliban in Afghanistan. Because when the people of the Afghanistan voted to the monarchy, former Prime Minister of Iran and United States wasn't agree to the monarchy. Zahir Shah came to the Afghanistan, did all the transition part, but at the end, because they didn't want the Afghanistan be a monarchy, they ruined the democracy in the Afghanistan. Look at the picture of Afghanistan before the revolution, and now look at what did the US in the Afghanistan, and gave up the country to the Taliban.
Yeah, like what I was getting at was, what do you think which one of those two things takes precedence, do you think? Or do you think any takes precedence between the altruistic and the power dynamic?
The power dynamic is primary. The altruism is the marketing kit.
Okay. So we kind of agree. Like, because like, it's pretty obvious to us however many Middle Easterners are in this room, it's pretty obvious to us that American involvement isn't random. And it's typically is focused around securing things that are in its national interest. Middle East is a good example of that. Middle East is home to the global oil relatively. And it's important geostrategically in that the US is so involved in the Middle East as opposed to West Africa, for example. But the other thing that kind of goes against that altruism point, and I'm interested in your point of view as an American, but the thing when we see it and when we look at American involvement in our countries is, like we're seeing like something arbitrary, which is that the U.S. foreign policy seems to dictate who is the villain and who is not, depending on arbitrary lines. Like I was mentioning earlier about Saudi Arabia. Florida's gone. Anyway, yeah, like the United States puts up regimes and not others as villainous for different reasons. I will know that in 1953, Iran did have democracies, and they did have a prime minister, Mossadegh, who was overthrown by the Americans. The Americans decided, oh, it's not that important for Iranians to have democracy at that time, so they decided that they could overthrow, and that's been repeated. So, like the idea of American, or the notion of American altruism dictating its foreign policy is really, really hard to believe. And more so, these reasons are just, like I was saying earlier, they're really just propaganda or like reasons given to accumulate public support for taking on the next boogeyman. Makes sense.
Well, Clark, I don't think it's quite arbitrary. I don't know if that maybe use the word maybe improperly, or
I mean, from our point of view,
misquoted.
seemingly arbitrary, but there are definitely reasons. Like there are perfectly rational reasons for the global hegemon to be interested in or hyperfixated on an area that is critical to global energy flow, for example. Perfectly rational thing for a global hegemon to want to do, but then it gets dressed up as interest in democracy, interest in freedom,
Yes.
and so on.
Yeah, and it's definitely, controlled resources, oil, minerals, and natural gas and so forth.
Exactly.
This is definitely
I don't think that's controversial. I don't think that's irrational either. Like every country should do that. If you're, the United States post World War II was the only show in town. It was the global hegemon. I mean, after the Cold War, rather. The Soviet Union fell, there was what they call the unipolar moment. The United States was the only power in the world, and then they acted in a way to kind of have this kind of broad spectrum dominance across the world, and they went about trying to do that. I think that's rational. It's not, apart from making any judgment call about it. Some of it was rational, some of it was irrational.
Yeah,
That's kind of what drove it.
It's rational that neighbor has $1 million underneath their mattress, and we can go shoot and kill the family and take the $1 million. It's rational to understand why you want resources, you want money, you want access to, so steal the diamonds, loot the home, and just kill the people inside of it. So that, it's understanding the motive, but the means of accomplishing that is what that really hinges upon, because a lot of us here, we can't do anything about, or very little we can do about a lot of these political issues. But the reason why we discuss these matters is because we're interested to see what people's ethical stances, what moral stances they have. And
fair enough.
We discuss these issues to try to convince others. Some people that, I don't really care what people think. If you're engaged in a conversation, generally, you do care about what people think, and you're speaking to them for that purpose, to influence their opinion in some way or the other. The other thing is it's Israel, of course. Israel, Israel has been an existential threat to its neighbors, stealing land, killing, raping, maiming, resources, whatnot. So this is also a huge factor for U.S.'s motives in the region, and a lot of other parts of the world, Venezuela, that Israel connection there, Argentina, and so forth. Israel, Israeli Zionists, they've been very deft, very crafty, very clever, and essentially buying out politicians for decades and strengthening their position, their influence in the American legal system.
The only thing I'd say without interrupting you is, I think that gets what you were saying, differentiating between motives and the ethics. I think that gets lost. There's a lot of overlap. A lot of people seem to confuse what are the motivations for actions. Why you see a lot of demonization, for example, Iran. I've seen a lot of demonization of Iran or the Iranian government as inherently evil because of one act or another.
Yeah, no, Iran. I mean, Iran. It would be much better off with the current leadership if there were not sanctions. Sanctions would cripple the economy. The oil production has gone down by sevenfold. There's an Iranian analyst, economic analyst. He said due to sanctions from the year I think it was 2011 until 2024. They're only 1/7 oil production. That's not because Iran's not trying, the government is trying. I mean, they're doing a lot of great things for their people. And you get extremists like Iranian, Shah supporters and people who reject IRCC and they're evil, they're not bad. You get the same small, segment of the American population. I won't say it's small, but you have, millions of Americans, millions, who think that Trump and the Republicans are all evil. They're, terrorists. They're doing this, whatever you want to call them. They're, may not call them terrorists, but they'll call them whatever you want to call them. They are so incensed by the U.S. government, Trump, his cabinet, and so forth, that they think this is like the devil incarnate here ruling the U.S. They think that it's a regime. They think that it's become an autocracy and they need to be overthrown. And they would probably be willing for another foreign nation even to come to take out Trump and his coons, Stephen Miller, and the racist, disgusting Stephen Miller, and about these just Hesketh and whatever these extremist people are in his cabinet. So you have people on the extremes. Iran, like you made a great point, like in 1953, the Mossadegh, he was democratically elected, and and what was his crime? Not a crime, it's actually a virtuous thing. He wanted to nationalize oil, not privatize it, because then that means oil belongs to Iranian people. But what did the U.S. do in conjunction with the UK? They basically overthrew him. It was not about democracy. Democracy is a convenient, what you put out there to conveniently.
It's part of a propaganda narrative.
Propaganda narrative. Exactly. That's it. Because if it was about democracy, they wouldn't have overthrown the Mossadegh back in 1953. There's other democracies that are doing terrible things, and why are we overthrowing them? There's autocracies like dictatorships that have been doing quite well, but because they have an issue with Israel, or they are doing weapons deals with other countries like Russia or China, or because they have oil and they say, hey, our oil's for our people, then there you go, like Venezuela. Like how is that possible for a nation, a government to say, hey, we're going to kidnap your president and just keep him in our country and put him on trial, and then install a pro-Western, pro-Israeli, pro-American oil puppet? How's that possible?
Yeah, there are those who would say that was actually a mask-off moment for the world, really, to show that actually there is no respect for international law. International law is a thing of convenience that's applied selectively. And, on the one hand, we can lament how international law is not being upheld. And that's one valid point of view. But the other point of view is that actually there was never such a thing. And all this is just a more mask-off way of doing it, like what happened in Venezuela. All this is just, being more explicit and in your face about it, that really we don't care about called internet. We make international law. We're the hegemon, so we can just do whatever we want. And that kind of, and that's another viewpoint that some people take, that's actually, fine, that's a good thing to finally remove the hypocrisy from it.
Hey, Clark, real quick, let me say something about that, right? Because you said that, the foreign policy or, things that would have people at least regulate, just foreign, I mean, because basically what they did, they filed certain things dealing with the UN and EU, right? In this now, when what's his name was in office, what was his name? George W. Bush.
Yeah.
He made this claim, right? Because obviously, because you said it's of convenience, right? The foreign policies that goes on, right? They choose when and when not to apply it to themselves. Well, he said this, right? He said that the Constitution that we all have to uphold as American citizens, right? He said the Constitution is nothing but a piece of paper.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's free game whenever they choose.
Exactly
they can
right.
pick and choose
that's
when
exactly right. Yeah.
when to follow their shit. When to follow these laws and shit. So it's like.
Mhm.
To me,
that-
I guess to the victor goes the spoil, right?
Exactly,
Spoil.
and that applies domestically in the U.S. too. I mean, there's I think tons of books have been written about those same tactics have been used internally in the United States during the civil rights movement to clamp down on protests against the Vietnam War, to clamp down on civil rights protests and civil rights movements. How the Black Panther Party was clamped down on because of this, the death of Malcolm X, the death of even Martin Luther King. A lot has been written about how those exact same, it's the same institutions, it's the same state that has equal disregard for international law and domestic law. It's the same thing, and the thing that makes sense about it is that it all comes down to very basic, cold hard facts, which is that people in power seek to, in a way that consolidates their own power and extends it, be domestically or that be abroad. Very simple calc. And however they manage to implement that, they go about doing that. That's why, in Clubhouse, there's all this yelling and shouting about rights, human rights, radical extremists, etc., and it's all just noise, because ultimately it just comes down to those facts: natural resources, power, hitting power.
Yeah, and my thing is, supposedly the EU and the National Atlantic Treaty Organization is supposed to be the mediators to all nations and whatnot. And what was the other one? The League of Nations or something like that. I can't remember the other.
There was the League of Nations pre-United Nations, then United Nations came, and then NATO, the United Nations, as a counterbalance to the Soviet Union and the Warsaw Pact.
Yeah, they're supposed So they're supposed to mediate all these different nations, of course, along with the UN and whatnot. So it's just like there's supposed to be a certain level of regulation that goes on with every country. But for some reason, it seems like there's preferential treatment that's being given to America in certain of America's allies. I mean, obviously, of course, Israel. We all know, we all see it. With what they're able to do. Unimpeded for whatever reason. This small.
There's a good reason for that, chart, because the United Nations is part of what are called the Bretton Woods institutions, and those were established by the United States. So the person who makes the rules will benefit from them. So the United Nations system, it was basically made, the World Bank, the IMF, those institutions were made by the United States, like they spearheaded those institutions under, with the ostensible reason of promoting international law, a new international system that would prevent another world war. Ultimately, those systems are in place to consolidate and preserve American power. So that's why it's so easy. Like you said, it seems like those things are supposed to be in place to make everything equal, and yet we're seeing preferential treatment given to the United States and its allies, but that's by design. That's why the head of the United Nations is in New York City. So many of these institutions have their headquarters in Washington or New York. It's because that's where the power is. And as soon as those institutions start somehow moving away from or not towing the line, then the United States can threaten to withdraw its funding, which it's already done, and then those places come back into line. It's by design.
Said Francis.
France?
No,
the U.S. and its friends and allies.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Yeah. Yeah, no, to me, I think like, just this current worldwide government structure, I mean, it's obviously like, there's not, of course, of course, like you were bringing out, like it's going to be towards America. And of course, Israel's connected to America, obviously, and they're just allowed to do whatever the hell they want to do. And once again, like the regulatory system that you would have, as an established United Nations or different nations combining to, govern all these different countries, and they're interworking and everything. There's nothing stop. Honestly, they could stop this shit, but obviously, obviously the whole concept of talk is cheap. They said they're against what America's doing, what Israel's doing, but there's not much being done, right? There's more countries than just two countries, right? So, you have, NATO, EU, United Nations, so on and so forth, who are all saying this. They could all just sit up here and put a stop to this shit at some point.
Yeah, the problem here is like, okay, America by far is the strongest, most powerful country in the world. Any given year, you look at defense, quote unquote, defense expenditures, and America, according to economists, spends anywhere from 9 on a low year, 7 or 19 countries combined. The next 7 to 19 countries who their military expenditure of China, Russia, Germany, Japan, you name it. You add them all together cumulatively. That's next top 9 to 19, 7 to 19. We spend more than them. So we just say 10. We spend more than 10 of the next several countries on the list cumulatively combined. That's an insane amount of money. We have, military bases, something like I think 800 military bases all over the world. Iran is surrounded by military bases. That's why Iran is attacking, strategic attacking U.S. military bases, because it's violating their sovereign, their nation. I was saying about is that's what I'm saying. The U.S. uses its foreign aid as a weapon. If you don't vote a certain way, the U.S. will withhold millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and this goes for both Democratic and Republican administrations. It's USAID, for example. USAID. This has to do with this actually was in the Biden administration. I think it was Uganda. I don't remember the exact country. It was a country in Africa, and it was under USAID. Said, look, we will withhold giving you millions of dollars of foreign aid if you don't agree to allowing transsexual clinics, transgender clinics, hormone therapy, and so forth. These clinics, and if you look it up, so USC has money for whatever position it has, but there's this agenda to spread democracy, spread LGBTQ. I don't know why they're fixated on that, especially in Africa. There's a United Nations organization called He for She, it's under the umbrella, where they want to spread basically the LGBTQ agenda within Middle Eastern, particularly Muslim, African countries, also in Latin America. They have a rainbow, but they put the rainbows out of order, the colors out of order, because they don't want people to directly associate it with the American movement, because that's a little too stark of a it'll strike home for a lot of people. But if you can kind of guise it in different colors, it's pretty interesting. University of Jordan, I was looking at their Instagram page, they had this Rainbow Week and they have 400 student volunteers and so forth. So there's a lot of position that America's doing on behalf of America, also on behalf of Israel, and I think the main threat is, of course, the military threat, but the economic threat. We're in a cutoff age. You're a starving country. You're underdeveloped country. No more programs for you unless you vote X, Y, and Z in regards to Israel, in regards to America's interest. Then that's par of course. What America's been doing for decades.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, where do we go from here? I mean, it's like at some point, something got to give. Like, because, like the room title that Coco made, and she will be back. She just got to take care of some business. U.S. foreign policy disrupted to the United States. Yeah, by proxy, by technicality, by practicality, if anything. Yes, because and obviously, like we were just talking about, how like they pick and choose when they want to establish their policies and when they don't, when they allow it to apply to them versus everyone else. Is that all this is affecting the entire world, but also too it's affecting the American citizens. And with this clown, I don't know what else you can call this guy, this clown that's in office right now. He is destroying the very fabric of this country. And it's not, he wasn't the only one, because mind you, I'm not going to sit up here and just put it all on him, but we're talking about somebody who's accelerating the downfall and destruction of this country. Him and his administration is definitely doing that. Now, I think anybody with a brain can see that. People outside of America see how dumb this jackass is, right? And this administration and this mentality. I mean, this is affecting us affecting us, with all these terrorists. And I just read earlier, I think I was talking about this earlier, maybe in another room or something like that, that Trump, I guess, threatened another, not Iran, but he threatened an ally of America, right? Because they said something that he didn't like. Like,
sure,
this is all.
Isn't that like exactly what the
Oman, yes, Oman, Brownie. Yep. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Isn't that exactly what the purpose is, to destroy the U.S.?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're doing right. They infiltrated Congress. You see, like Trump doing everything that these baby killers are saying. Right? All that money is going there, but there's nothing coming in return. So there's a huge blackmail operation going on. Right? Like, it would be stupid to deny that. So if you ask me, there is no other conclusion, no other logical conclusion I can have other than that they are literally trying to destroy America for Israel to become the next great power in that region, becoming sort of like the new America. They're literally using America as like a hitman.
Right.
Go to Iraq, go to Afghanistan, go to Iran, bomb this, that, and the third. And Israel is just sitting back and it's doing nothing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's sitting watch or fighting the war on its behalf. I mean, insiders within the Trump administration said this is my half of Israel. This does not benefit America. They know it. And some of them spoken anonymously. Others are just afraid to say it. This is a war for Israel. Iran never fired a missile across the Atlantic Ocean. They pose no threat to us, mainland America, and it's really about Israel. I think what you're kind of get to, like, Charles, like maybe we can discuss now why these wars, why attacking, spend all these monies on these wars, fighting all these different countries and trying to overthrow, military coups and all this quest for global domination. What's this costing Americans? We've spent so much of our tax money overseas, internationally, aid to Israel. Number one, they get the lion's share of our foreign aid. Egypt being next, and other countries. Why are we spending so much money? Why are we? Of course, a genocide happened. That's the Holocaust of our times. The Holocaust of our times. Why are we participating in that? Why are we making it possible? It would not have been possible without our weapons. Like Brown University, this was back in 2024, 25, I think. Yeah, it was 25 October. They had a study that showed we spent like $22 billion at that time. And it's gone up since. That's a lot of money to U.S. taxpayers. Ukraine and so forth. And we've been so much money. Iran, the average American taxpayer spent over $200 since in the past, 3 months or so, on Iran. We spent an average of $200 of our hard-earned money. There's a lot of people for them it's 2 days' wages of post-tax. Everybody, it's crazy. We could put that money into healthcare, into infrastructure, to better roads, better housing facilities. There's so much more we can do to make America a better place. But no, we spend it, attacking other countries, participating in a genocide, making America more unsafe. How are terrorists born? To one per people, or a person, or a people, a group may be a freedom fighters, or they may be terrorists. They're born out of often oppression, oppressors depriving their rights, taking away their land, killing their family, poison their land, and
or the narrative. Oh, my bad. I just want to say this, Dean. Or the narrative, right? That they're terrorists because of the fucking them having their land, like you were saying, them having their land and resources taken, right? And then, of course, like, let's say you have certain militia groups who want to build up another generation of fighters, right, to fight against what's going on. They're programmed, by them to see what's going on, which they could see for themselves that, their people's getting killed, kids at their age of 2-3 years old getting castrated, killed, and God knows what else is happening, right? The narrative is going to be created that they're the new generation of terrorists, mind you, at 2 or 3 years young, 4 or 5 years young. And of course, there are certain people, as an example, who have said this crazy shit about these kids. But it's through systematic, oppression and infiltration, of their nation overall. So, and then what do they come with the table? Well, through provocation, you create, wars, and you create people like this. So they go up and they say, well, look, these kids are going to be the next terrorists, So we gotta deal with these people. So I mean, it's very methodical and cerebral how they constructed the group of so-called terrorists and villains that they like to bring out, the way they do. My bad. I just wanted to point that out, Dean. I didn't mean to cut off your wisdom or anything. I just had to, point that out.
No, of course. This people, they ask me, why do Americans hate us, or sorry, why do they hate America? A lot of people hate America because they're the victims of American foreign policy. Martin Luther King, he said, the greatest purveyor of violence is my own country, and that those who best understand American foreign policy are those who live under it. So when you're attacking these countries, you're creating, orphans, widows. You're poisoning their soil, their water. The war in Iraq, cancer rates quadrupled after the first war in Iraq. We did so much havoc. We had a former attorney general, for those who don't live in America, a lawyer, attorney, a barista. He is the head attorney for the government of the United States of America. His name is Wesley Clark. It was under the Lyndon B. Johnson or Kennedy administration. He testified against America in front of the UN. He testified, a attorney general, right? Imagine a minister of your government, or wherever country you're at, going to the UN and testifying, providing evidence that your government's committing war crimes. That's essentially what he did. And it's a book called The Fire After the Ice, and also he has a transcript of his speech in the UN. But we bombed so much. We, of civilian infrastructure, buses, bus depots, baby milk factories, hospitals. We used chemical weapons, depleted uranium. That's a chemical weapon. We used weapons of mass destruction against Iraq, the very thing which we claimed that they had, but we used against them. We bombed bridges. One example, there was 120 some people on a bridge, and they bombed the bridge on broad daylight. It was a souk, it was a market, and they bombed it. Madeleine Albright, the deceased, disgusting, human being, Madeleine Albright, said, in an interview that we think the price of 500,000 children being killed is worth it as a result of sanctions. Sanctions have killed, over, nearly 1 million people over the 20 some years of the two Iraq wars, or not 10, 20, but 1991 to think 2002, starting to, about 11 years or so, and beyond. But it's like, of course, certain people hate America. There's some people also, they I think it's all Americans who agree with this democracy, and these are the people who vote in power. Do you guys really hate us? Like, you're killing us. You're starving us. Literally, you're doing X, Y, and Z. You're dropping bombs, these 2,000-pound bombs over our head. Of course, you have people who hate Americans. And there's others who just hate the government, but they say the people, yeah, they're under hostage of their government. They know better. They're like, they don't understand the American political system. It's like the people are duped. They're a victim of propaganda. Americans, all by far and large, many don't agree with their foreign policy, but their government wields power and silences people, imprisons them, even kills them if they step out of line. So there's people who differentiate, but of course there's people who may hate America. So if you invest more money into perhaps helping nations, having trade agreements, defending them when necessary, not going ballistic and fighting wars for a foreign nation like Israel, not being conscientious about civilians, about people say, oh yeah, they could. No, they're people directly. It's too many mistakes, right? Oh, we didn't mean to kill 160 kids in Iran. No, come on, man, this is ridiculous. Creating people who are going to hate America. So when America's safe, stop killing people. Stop, supporting rogue, apartheid, genocidal governments like Israel. Stop overthrowing their dictators. Allow them to be free, and don't dictate what kind of government they should have. Who's to say democracy is the best? Maybe a dictatorship or communist or some other form of government is better for those people, their culture and the way they do things. It comes down, but who's to say democracy is the way to go? We don't have the American form of democracy is highly flawed. Politicians are bought out. Claudio Lil, you're saying so. We don't have a pure democracy here, whether you think so or not. When you can spend tens of millions of dollars and buy up politicians who the majority of their constituents view one way in the matter, but they vote another way, that's not doing the will of the people. That's not a democracy. Yeah, it's in a constitutional republic, but yeah, everybody thinks we're a democracy, where the people have power, the majority,
Well,
go ahead, sorry.
Technically, we're a democratic republic because of the two factions' origins. Now, they broke off eventually, years after their creation. If we want to be technical, right? Because they were originally were one party, right? They came from the same source. They just broke off. So technically, that's what we would be, because it's not too much. Like when you go into the definitions, I mean, there are going to be certain things that you're going to find, but it is really saying the same thing, overall. But with this, this country, I just think that there's not much, as far as the things that we established that's really being kept. Well, specifically, let me just say this with this administration, some of the things that was promised. Let's just use this as an example. I mean, no wars, price of gas and food will go down. When you cause war, what do? You have the fucking price of food, the price of the gas. And of course, you want to add tariffs. And he was pulling this tariff shit back in 2019, back then. Right? And actually, he was. If I don't know if you guys remember, in 2020 there was conflict with America and Iran about the situation that we're seeing play out today, right? And to the terrorists, right? Mind you, this America is a naturally international export of different things, or at least, or let me just say this: they import things from other lands, and you're sitting up here causing tariffs, and then you want to have this war, which is going to cause even more complications. And of course, Iran shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, rightfully so. If you're going to be in a conflict like this is causing everybody to fucking suffer. All right, and I just, it's just insane to me. Just the mentality of this country with our government to do the things that they do. Once again, I just think that when you have let's say if you wanted to go out to war, which is not, for the reasons that they're doing this shit for, it's not ethical and it's not logical at all. But if you wanted to, wouldn't you fix up your home first before going out to war? Like, and then also too, like, once again, the ammunition they keep running out every fucking time. And obviously they're trying to destroy a country or nation that has been around for several millennia. While this nation's only been around for, 250 years, if that. So, yeah, I mean, this shit is just, I don't know. The more I think about it, it's just the more illogical the illogical conclusions you come up with, man, with this country and the things that's going on. And I just think that there's nothing democratic or republic about this bullshit that's going on, either which way you put it, so.
Even, you could say that we're a democracy, and you're right, we are technically a republic, a democratic republic, but you can have a democracy and still have no morals and no ethics. So I don't think, and the West tends to equate democracy with some sort of moral higher ground and higher ethical ground, and that's proven by the actions not to be the case, not to be true, because we have done, as a country, our government has done some pretty horrific things around the world, from Chile to Cuba, Venezuela, drug trafficking to, and not just here, in North America. It's not to mention, giving away for free the bombs and missiles that were needed to genocide the Palestinian people.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, sorry, this is John.
Dean, did you hear that the guy that when he was the one that was being terrorized by settlers, and he grabbed one of their guns, and I think he shot 2 Israeli soldiers. He was killed. But then they went and demolished his home.
They're terrorists. I mean, those settlers are terrorists.
Yeah, that is not true.
By definition, they're terrorists. Terrorists are people who
Do you like things?
commit. This guy's a troll. Oh, you're really mature there. Great job, Red. Char. Don't let him.
I got him out of here.
Yeah, it's people. Some people are just. Anyway, they're terrorists by definition. Settlers.
True, but they say like Israel would say, oh, we'll do an investigation.
Yeah, exactly.
But
nothing happens.
Well, the thing is, I think, and so they're supposedly doing an investigation, but then why would you destroy this man's home? When your investigation isn't complete. So it's a very stark. Stark evidence when it comes to, Palestinians and how Palestinians do not have rights, because they went after they killed them, and that wasn't enough. And he was defending himself, and that was evident. I mean, that was clear. No one, Israel is not even disputing this. But for him to defend himself, it means that his family have to go homeless now. And his home was completely demolished. It's the hypocrisy, but this is what America also stands for and stands behind. So you're also not judged by your actions. You're also judged by who your friends are. That's how you're judged. That's how people judge you. That's how we judge each other. You're judged by your friends' actions, the people that you deal with.
Yep.
Man,
so we have. One sec. Gershon, the definition. Char. I think there's another troll here, Los. You might want to put up like hand raising only to just So terrorists by definition are those who, and there's different wording, but essentially the same, pretty much the same. Those who commit acts of violence, including intimidation against the civilian population in pursuit of political, ideological, religious, or nationalistic aims. And thus we have, settlers are by definition terrorists. They are people who are committing acts of violence, including intimidation, against the civilian population in pursuit of nationalistic, ideological, or religious aims, and because exactly what they're doing. So settlers are terrorists, and even you can roll your eyes, but that's the definition. Anybody knows what's going on in the West Bank, know that those people are terrorists.
Where did you put your definition from?
It's you can Google it.
Well, I did. I Googled it and I put it in the back channel, the definition. So, I mean, if we work with your definition, okay, you say they use like violence against the civilian population. What a government is, in any case, is like a monopoly on force over a limited geographical area. So if a government somewhere, like let's say Burma.
We didn't even talk about government, we're talking about the settlers. Do you hear the settlers? We can get to government, but the settlers, do you know who settlers are in the West Bank?
Yeah, it's people that are they're trying to settle the West Bank. That's correct.
Yeah. So what are they doing?
They're defending themselves.
Oh no!
Come on, that's hilarious.
No. This guy is. You don't.
Yeah, one man's terrorist and the other one's freedom fighter.
That's such a simplistic.
This guy, okay, first of all, under United Nations law, those settlements are illegal. They're not allowed to settle there. Number one. Number two, according to American policy, they're illegitimate, quote unquote, illegitimate. It's the wording there. They won't say it's illegal because the Zionist lobby pressured them, so they don't say it illegal because if you say it's illegal, then it has certain ramifications. But they say it's illegitimate. The U.S. does not officially recognize settlements. They consider settlements illegitimate, and the people who are doing it are illegitimate. Now, what they're doing is called terrorism.
Well, okay, you
mixed
mixed the whole
in the chat.
you mixed a whole bunch of stuff together. We try to like do a little bit at a time. Okay, the first thing is that you were talking about the United Nations decides that something is illegal. And I think I was reading a book by Henry Kissinger, Does America Need a Foreign Policy? And when he was describing the United Nations, what he said is that they are like a mediative body. So it's like, okay, you have a bunch of places like agree to be bound by these rules in the event that they sign on to it. So it's not the same relationship if you were in like some city, let's say Dearborn, and you speed and the police stop you and then they point a gun at you if you won't stop. All right. If that relationship between like a Dearborn citizen and like, a resident, a Dearborn police and their citizen was run this way, then the person who was stopped by the police would just say, I don't agree with this. I didn't sign on to this and therefore da. So it's a different thing. So if the United Nations like says something is illegal in that way, that's just a suggestion. And it's for people who agreed to sign on to that body. Point one. Okay. The second point is you talked about how the United States says that they're illegitimate and so on and so on. I might also mention the United States does not recognize the government of Taiwan as the legitimate government of China, but that doesn't mean that they can't work with them, okay, and that they can't deal with their head of state or deal with them at some level. So those are words. Taiwan is not a legitimate government, but if you want to get a passport to or a visa to Taiwan, you have to go through the government that manages that territory. It's one of those things. And I mean, that's it. I mean, those are the 2 points.
Okay, so one, the Dearborn analogy is a very poor analogy. We're talking about settlements.
I'm curious where that came from. As a Michigander myself, I don't know why. Why do people keep targeting? It's weird.
I'm not targeted. I just happen to be here.
We noticed the pattern.
Okay.
We noticed the violence that it creates.
All right.
I just have to be in Dearborn right now, so I just was using that.
Dearborn, they're part of America. They're Americans there. They elect their officials. They govern according to American law, and that's good for them. So now the settlements are quite different. It's Palestinian land, recognized by the UN and the U.S. as Palestinian land. The UN, which the U.S. officially still recognizes as a legitimate international governing body. UN says they're illegal. Also, the U.S. considers them illegitimate, and therefore the settlers are illegitimate as well. And they won't say, due to the pressure by the Zionist lobby, they won't say it's illegal because then it has ramifications. But it's against it. Presidents over and over and over have spoken against settlements and settlers and so forth. But it's all just talk. We know it's not action because we know where the money is and so forth. So the settlers are terrorists. They're taking a land that's not theirs. They're using threats of violence and actually killing, murdering, raping, destroying churches, razing churches, and fire churches, mosques, and so forth. They're terrorizing people. They're killing children, women, men. They're stealing their water. This is called terrorism by definition. They're terrorists.
All right, so hold on. You said that they're taking like Palestinian land. Okay, here we go. Let's use another historical example.
Well, can we stick to Palestine? You said something that's incorrect.
We'll stick to Palestine. Okay, so what I'm saying is nobody owns any land in perpetuity. So you own land as long as you can defend it.
Well,
so in the event
something that was not correct. Can we go back to what you said a couple of minutes ago? So you said that the UN is just a suggestion.
Yeah, it's a medium.
Okay, so no, it's not a suggestion. Resolution, Security Council resolution, I think it's 2334 in 2016, that was passed, states that the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and Gaza are Palestinian land, belong to the Palestinians. It's Palestinian territory. This is And this is not a suggestion. This is a Security Council resolution and is binding by law. And then you have, and I'll land very quickly. You also have the Geneva Conventions, I forgot which one it was, the one on occupation. You cannot occupy, or if you occupy a land, or I'm sorry, the first Geneva, first article, I believe, of the UN Charter that says that you cannot gain land and keep it by war. This is after World War II. So after the post-colonialism, when we were decolonizing, quote unquote. And then we have the ICJ, who came out in 2024, and then earlier, I think in 2004, but in 2024, stated that the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and Gaza are occupied territory, belong to the Palestinians. Israel must leave and pay reparations to the Palestinians for the damage they caused. This is a legal opinion from the International Court of Justice, which is the Supreme Court of the UN. It's the Supreme Court of the world. So I just wanted to correct what you said when you said suggestion. These aren't suggestions. These are, rulings bound by international law.
All right, so here we go. I'm actually looking this up right now. I just thought you said International Court of Justice. Let me put a link in the back channel of this nice thing that I found here. All right, it's talking about like the participation of China on like the International Court of Justice.
We're talking about the UN right now.
Okay, right. Okay, the UN, the International Court of Justice. What I'm saying is that's an example. Okay, let's look at this.
Well, you're talking about China.
You have to be very specific, Gershon, when we're talking about this topic. We're talking about the UN here. They're two different bodies, ICC.
All right. No. So the International Court of Justice is the main legal court of the United Nations, located at the Peace Palace in The Hague, Netherlands. It settles legal arguments between countries. Okay, so that's what it says. So the International Court of Justice is not like suspended like.
And what does it say about Palestine?
Okay, so hold on. Let's see. Let's see. The languages, English and French. Okay, chosen by the UN General Assembly. So. Here's what I'm saying. Okay, I'm trying to give you this example if you let me get it out. What I gave you, I put it in the back channel there where China decides which parts of the ICJ they want to listen to and not. So if it's anything that impinges on Chinese sovereignty, they ignore it because they have the right to do that. Because the relationship between like a country that's a member state of the United Nations and the International Court of Justice is emphatically not the same thing as the relationship between, say, the Supreme Court of the United States and like the state of California. It's two different things. So if you decide you're going to like defy the Supreme Court of like the United States, then in extremis, somebody will come and point a gun at you and say, you have to follow this. All right. But if you decide that you don't agree with some ruling that was made by the ICJ or some resolution by the United Nations, then that's just the end of it if you're a sovereign country.
Not necessarily. China is a veto nation.
Okay. So I mean,
there are 5 veto nations. They can decide
to ignore the part they didn't want to. All right. So,
so when it comes to Palestine, though, it was not vetoed. What I gave you for the resolution that did pass, the Security Council was not vetoed. It did pass. Okay. So it is legally binding.
Okay. So, but the total resolutions that the United Nations makes, I mean, they make resolutions on a weekly basis. So if resolutions were enough to solve this problem, it would have been solved at least in half.
You're moving the goalposts there. You were saying that it was not. It was not legally binding, that the settlers were not there. One man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist or something like this. Okay, which doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit here because it is illegal for these settlers to be on Palestinian land. It is illegal, and it's considered illegal by 170 nations. It's considered, even the U.S. wouldn't come out and say that.
They said they're illegitimate. It's an official policy to this day. They're illegitimate. They don't recognize it.
And the Israeli Supreme Court even said that the West Bank is under a belligerent occupation. They said this, I believe, in the mid-2000s. I mean, we have a lot of rulings from courts, both in Israel the ICJ, we have Security Council resolutions as early as 2016. We have the U.S. putting sanctions on some of the settlers, as in the 2020s. We have a lot of evidence that shows that the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and Gaza is supposed to be sovereign territory, and the fact that it is not, you're breaking the law.
Well, I mean, so is Ukraine. Okay, so has nobody taken
Ukraine is in a war.
Okay, so they're in a war.
Right. So it's illegal.
But Ukraine is the one that's putting the boots on the ground, so it's not enough for the ICJ or the UN to say to Russia, "Hey, you guys are doing the wrong thing," and Russia be like,
"Oh, they did." Russia was found guilty, I believe, by the ICJ.
And that and $3 will get you a cup of coffee. Okay, so
that's good, but we're not talking about coffee. We're talking about what you said about the UN when it comes to legality. Okay, enforcement enforcement is a different matter.
Okay, so
you first have to say that what Israel's doing does break the law.
If you have
not willing to do this, even with the evidence I'm presenting to you, like I'm
presenting you. What I'm saying is, if you have no enforcement, you have no law. So
you have to have the law. You have to break the law and then enforce the law.
Wait a minute, okay. I'm looking this up here. Between 2015 and 2024, the United Nations General Assembly has adopted 173 resolutions specifically targeting or criticizing Israel. So if you do the math, that's probably like about 20 resolutions.
That's the General Assembly. The Security Council is what's legally binding.
All right, hold on. Let's see here. Total number of UN resolutions, Security Council. Let's look at it.
Look at specifically 2016 2334.
Okay, that 2016 was a few years ago. Okay, so
you have to have a working knowledge of what we're talking about. You don't
across the decades, the Security Council has passed the Security Council has passed over 80 specific resolutions. 80 resolutions the Security Council has passed that alone. Okay, and it didn't get them anywhere. It's like,
But is what Israel doing illegal? That was the question. You keep moving the goalposts.
I don't think so, because
it's not about you. Does the UN say it's illegal?
The UN can say whatever they want to.
Yeah, I mean, they're the ones that would say, not you.
But you don't decide.
They decide.
They don't. But they don't have the power
to do. For your opinion, I'm saying, do the facts support that this is illegal?
And
what they're doing is illegal.
The person who has the power of the gun is who says what is and is not.
Does the UN say it's illegal?
They can say whatever they want to.
That's not the question. The question is it legal or not? It's a simple. It
depends on who's asking. Depends on who's asking.
For a simple answer.
Depends on who's asking.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
The ruling is a ruling. If something is illegal, it's illegal. If it's in writing and it says it's illegal, if it says Palestine and the West Bank and East Jerusalem and Gaza belong to the Palestinians and
shit. Is it my friend? Did he come to read a book? Book. 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 Oh, 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 oh. Anaphar. I gotta say, it's like pathetic how much time people spend communicating with NFRs on this app. And yesterday there was this NFR in the Trump room, and somebody was like, so, if the founding fathers failed at this point, what is it that you'd like to see changed? And the NFR was like, well, we should start with term limits. And I was like, oh shit. I'm telling you, my friend, there's no reason to talk to people here anymore. Just record them. You're like, you want me to bootleg Clubhouse? Yeah. I want you to stop using this app. Stop talking to these people. All of them. Not one person here is redeemable. No one. Not one. Here we go. ESL NFR. ESL NFR. NFR ESL. NFR ESL. NFR NFR ESL. Say it. Say it.
It was Tyler Robinson. You see, and the first time Tyler Robinson was seen around the scene was that he was in a car somewhere, I think, something like that. So every time I look around these findings, there's just nothing positive, you see, and that gives that avenue for Owens to come up with all, I don't want to call it theories, but all the arguments that she has been making that
NFR ESL. NFR ESL.
Is that me? Are you guys hearing me? In the Matrix. I am, or he is?
Hello?
He is. Yeah, I think it's my connection here. I'm driving through an area that's kind of not having good connection. Yeah. So
Is that what's up?
It was a fair.
All right. Well, welcome to live streaming rooms John Kitover is blocked from. I'm always surprised when I try to get into a room that like I don't even know who the people are that like blocked me. You know, that's what like blows my mind is that people know me, but I don't even know them. And that's the real fun. Well, I'm sorry for you. You could always just change your name, create a new account, stop going by a trash bag. There's lots of ways for you to get into rooms that you're blocked from. But I have the feeling that you actually want to communicate with the people that you're blocked with. I, on the other hand, could give two shits. It is a complete waste of time. And even if I speak and voice my opinion, that is also a waste of time. So there's really no purpose to actually communicate with these people, just record them, dox them, humiliate them, embarrass them, mock them, shame them, and upset them. Because I don't know if you know this, but do you know how to make a slave? You probably are not familiar with this concept, but whoever you can make angry, you make your slave. So I don't know how many slaves you have contained in your slave containment field, but somebody was like, I got hundreds of slaves. I was like, I got thousands of slaves. They're all leaving comments on my YouTube, like all kinds of horrific things. All kinds of people really. Let me just share one with you.
Hey, can I ask you something?
What? Oh shit! Somebody
Do you
told me
think I
to
should
pull
break
up.
up with my girlfriend or not?
See, it's a concept that you even have a girlfriend, and it's a concept that you'll break up. And it would be a concept that I would share with you. All you really have is right now, like Hillel said. If I'm not for me, hello?
Yeah, trust the science is stupid, and I think enforcing it is kind of hard, right? Because like you said, natural language is quite hard. It took us a long time to get what we have now, right? AI that actually understands language, let's say. So it's not, this stuff isn't like philosophical anymore, right? I go into a lot of philosophy debate rooms, and like they're talking about stuff that I think is outdated a little bit. Like, no, we actually have something to test whether this entity or this agent is capable of this or whatever. You see what I mean?
See what you mean. Like, I'm asking though, where was social media banning Fauci's narrative about that there was a 3% death rate? Where was the media when he was going on the Sunday shows perpetuating this lie? Where were they cutting in and saying, "Hey, Mr. Fauci, are you getting kind of ahead of yourself and being exaggerating?" There was no coercion from the federal government to prevent Fauci from lying. If you can't see this, understand what the issue is about regulation of speech and regulation of AI, and this is still within the realm of what we're discussing with AI, is that these type of laws are applied only to the peasants and not the people in power.
So, perfect.
They got up on stage and intentionally deceived everybody. Or what? Like what?
Yes, because we have.
What do we
have his
emails. What's his motive?
It doesn't
what do we
matter.
believe is his motive?
Oh, stop, dude.
What is
It doesn't matter. Fuck it.
He pled the fifth. Go ahead, horrible Edward. I'll let y'all hash it out.
Thank you. And as a mod, I don't think you should be as
Quickest way to get put down is to tell us how to mod. So just go ahead.
That's true. Okay.
Add that.
Sorry. All right. Health is the more important thing that we have to sort of discuss how to regulate, right? And I am for, ironically, some regulation here, right? But okay, if we can't even determine what is misinformation, right, and we can't determine whether or not we should regulate this, that's a whole different topic. I don't need to be here for that, right? I don't know how to do that. I personally think I already told you guys my personal views. You guys all think that they're insane, quite absolutist in free speech. They're almost pure absolutist, except for CP, right? But that's just me. I don't know how to regulate that. But that's a whole different discussion. I get what you guys are going down. Okay.
Any response to what I had brought up, that these type of rules, like what has been proposed, Mr. Finley, about AI regulations,
will that only be applied to the peasant class, or will that be applied to the elites as well when they use AI?
I mean, none of the laws really ever apply to elites, right? That's another problem, right? We got freaking Congress people doing insider trading, right? That doesn't apply to them. They also drunk drive, rape, and they never go to jail for this stuff. They steal. The elites steal at a rate of 1,000 times of petty thieves, but our enforcement actions and our judicial actions overwhelmingly disproportionately affect the peasant class. It's always been this way. I've screamed about this, but we kind of look to the left, look to the right, right? The elites are literally rigging the economy to their advantage right now, literally, right? But we kind of look the other way and we cheer them on, right? There's a reason that credit, personal credit, debt is over $1 trillion because regular folks are borrowing to live. And we're saying, 1,600 millionaires make it 2,000 billionaires. Let's just keep it going. We cheer this crap on. And you know what they do while we cheer it on? They hope there's going to be a trans person playing a Now that's a problem, but is that a bigger problem than freaking them rigging the economy, having 15 million empty houses in this country, and then simultaneously saying, we got a housing crisis, a housing shortage. Algorithms freaking rigging prices. And I didn't believe it. I literally didn't believe it. When I heard it on the news, I was like, there's no way. There's no way. So I decided to test it, and I land here. I decided to test it. I was booking a hotel room for a wedding that I went to recently, right? Because I have a work device for the work and I have my personal device. I said, let me just see if I book this on my work device, if I'm going to get a different price. $150 difference between the freaking price of the hotel. I'm like, I thought they were lying to me. But this is the rigged economy that we allow the elites to rig against us in the name of profiteering while they get away with the law, and we don't do anything about it.
Mr. Finley, we have common ground now. So I'm not this evil conservative. What I am concerned with is how can we bring in regulations against AI where it would also police the police officers. Ultimately, that's what I'm talking about. And that's been my hope since the beginning of this conversation. And if you could assure me to create a bureaucracy that would police itself, then I'd be on board. However, I'm skeptical about that aspect of it. And I think that's where our difference is.
So do you know how consensus algorithms work, Joe?
Yes.
I think more important than
X currently has a system where they have people that go out there and rate it and post up if it's misinformation, and then people can upvote it and downvote it. It works really well, and X has really put the model together.
Yeah, but this could be done more so with nodes. So instead of humans upvoting and downvoting, it could be done with nodes that verify or de-verify. So they mark some sort of hash as, yeah, this is the proper hash or not. And the person, the node that corrupted the information is penalized, right? This is how, so we have what's called, like instead of proof of work now, we have proof of stake. This works. Right? So what I'm saying is a authority that's decentralized that could verify person A is person A. That's what I'm proposing here, which is okay.
There is one point. If more than policing, I think more important thing is that those accesses, because the data collection and the data supervision is something different, and data supervision is based on the accesses that the systems gives to the users. For example, there are some users who don't have access to the accesses of managers. For example, this comes to all the intelligence data of all the organizations, not just for AI. For example, those accesses need to be in the current time and not after when it is archived. This is one of the most important points that makes
Yeah,
it
so you
more
can do this in real time.
this system.
No,
Because this system, AI, is much more sensitive with the current time access of the users. It is much more, it is much easier to be uh, managed out of the systems by some of the users. And for this purpose, I think that some of those clarifications need to be access to the main manager, to the, for example, um, I'm not sure how to say, the supervisors who are in charge of other teams and who has the access to this more than the other teams. You know, because this is much more easier to be manipulated. I can elaborate later more because it is complex. I don't know how to.
Well said, Peter. So the other thing is, AI eventually competes with itself, right? So you can have like the most like reliable system in the world for all this. And we just saw recently, I think it was Hugging Face was attacked by another AI company. So what will eventually happen is people will just send off AI to debunk what you think is real. You know what I mean? So and then like there's so many ways because horrible. I know what you're talking about with the technology, proof of stake, blah blah blah. I have a feeling AI will just figure out a way to not make what you just said happen. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We're up against a big hill. I don't think this is easy as we're thinking. Because I do think like proof of stake is pretty good, and also what's the other one? I always forget the other one, but I know where you're going.
proof of work. Proof of work requires actual verification. Proof of stake is just like you put up on.
Exactly. But do you hear what I'm saying a little bit? Like it'll turn on. AI will figure out itself on what we're talking about. You know what I mean?
So it's a cat and mouse sort of chasing game. So like you have this we have this thing called cross entropy. Basically, you have like what's called a GAN, right? Adversarial network, right? That essentially does this all day with like they learn each other, right? So like the best way to learn is usually to play against someone, and you guys are both trying to optimize, and they end up coming to this sort of like game theoretical optimal solution or whatever, right? But in my opinion, they're always a step behind. So the people that have to like hack or the people that are doing the wrong thing in this case would be like producing videos of president such and such when they're not president such and such, have a harder hill to climb. They're always trying to catch up to the newer schemes, right? So eventually, in my opinion, is that, right? So like will we get 100%? No, but we'll get enough.
So you're saying like it'll always be you iterating and changing where it just this might not be an issue in the sense of like what I'm talking about, where it just one day it just all falls apart. I agree with you on that, and you are right. It's not going to be perfectly. There's no foolproof system. There'll never be, because just the way it is. I don't know.
What?
I mean, there's some.
There's a lot of very low IQ people here that have nothing to do during work hours. And so they just talk to fill up the empty void in their life. And back to your girlfriend, as a man who does not have a permanent girlfriend, the thing about
That's why I'm asking you, because you're my friend and you're my older man friend. You're like my big bro.
don't throw.
I'm asking you.
Do not throw. Would you throw away a gold watch? Would you throw away a bag of cash? Would you throw away value? It's just a question. Do you throw away valuable things? No, you don't. You keep what is valuable And the saying in philosophy is if there's briars, you know, or something, throw it away. Get rid of it. But, you know, you have to determine. That's the saying. There's briars, you know, throw it away. There's nothing else to say. See, that's the. Well, see, listen. I was in love with this girl here in Chicago, Jewish chick, great ass, pleasant enough. And I just looked at her. She got in. She got married. You know, and I looked at the guy that married her, but then I also looked at the photos. The wedding is really a glorification moment for the parents. The parents get to come out and say, "Thank God, our daughter is married. Our life is fulfilled. We're so happy. We're so proud." And you know, they come out and they do this. It's like a little game show. But what I'm trying to say is, if the participants, the man and the woman, are getting married, are not actually happy, well, what they're doing is insanity. It's so stupid. They're putting on a show, and then they might get separated or get divorced, or they might be together but be miserable. Imagine being with a wife that poisons you, you know, that secretly hates you, that wants you to die. Like, just imagine, and you're unaware of it even. Anyways, all I'm trying to tell you is, if you're already stooping, guess what? She's already your wife spiritually, you know, universally. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm like a polygamist in the sense that I have 150 ex-wives, and currently no wife, you know, but I had a wife last weekend. I had 2 wives last weekend, but this past weekend I had nothing. So it fluctuates, my friend. And if you take the fluctuation out of your life, you're gonna need to replace it. So
Don't you want to get married?
my friend, the purpose of life is to get married, but you see the problem with a lot of weak-minded people or women is they think that marriage is a double entendre, triple entendre. You need to get married to God. And that's what women need to do as well. But a lot of women that are not married to God will never get married in the real world. And they will be single in their 30s, 40s, 50s. You can see them on Hinge or Bumble or Tinder right now. There's thousands.
There's thousands.
And they'll never be married. They will never be with a man. They will live alone and die alone. And that's not the worst thing in the world if you're still happy. Because, see, sexual gratification is like flowers. It comes out of the ground, out of nature, when you least expect it. So, the thing is about your relationship is, you know, during your hours with her, is she pleasant? Does she make you feel good? Does she say nice things? Like, you can really judge a person by what they say. If she's a negative Nancy, constantly pessimistic and highly annoying, well, then you know what?
She might be a hap.
She probably is a hap. Most women are haps.
She's a hap. She might be a hap.
That's the terrifying. That's the terror. That's terror. That's terrible.
You look around and you realize, wait a minute, we've been together for 8 years. You're a hap.
Well,
you're a total hap.
But the
you're
thing.
A hap. I never knew it, but I never noticed. This is the problem. You are a hap.
Listen, do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor. Go to the gym, and go up to a pretty girl and say, "Hey, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Zach. I'm in a relationship with a woman that I'm not necessarily happy with, and I'm beginning to think maybe I should test the waters and find out, you know, what it's like to ask a girl out on a date again. And I'm wondering if I could, you know, take you out for coffee." And then, see, your problem is because you've been in such a long-term relationship, your dating life.
Right, I'm out of practice.
You're totally out of practice. You don't know, like, but I'm also retarded because, you know, that's why I'm saying take my advice with a grain of salt because I am stupid and retarded. Right. And for example, like, this is how stupid I am. I want to get laid bad, you know, and when I have a beautiful woman in my hands, which is just like, you know, we were clicking.
I don't even pursue and ask that girl to come back to my place because I'm having such a good time. And then she slips out of my hands, and I'm like, what? And then in hindsight, I'm like, dude, I'm fucking retarded. I could have laid that chick, and instead I just let her walk. I just let it end. I'm like, it fizzle out. I'm like, why didn't I escalate it? Why didn't I say, hey, why don't I take you back to my place right now? And we're gonna have another drink and a good time. Like, but I didn't say it.
You were talking at the bar and then let her go.
Yeah, and I'm just retarded. So that's why I say, like, even if you want to get out of your relationship and then you start pursuing and dating again and blah blah blah, you may find out that you're also fucking retarded, and then you'll say to yourself, "Fuck, I had a chicken in the hand."
Laura is
Who? You talking Free Palestine Nora? Oh my god, dude. I mean, bro, like.
I'm just joking. She's in the audience.
Oh, she is. I mean, yeah, she's a beautiful woman, but like culturally, I think we're just too far at odds. But again, it's like she's one out of.
She's a Catholic.
She's a cat.
She's the world's first Catholic Muslim.
I just like complimenting her because I want her to be happy, and I'm sure, and I know for a fact that she could meet a quality man that she could be in a relationship with. But it's my opinion that most people that are not in relationships are actually very highly annoying people, but also extremely lazy. Because all of my friends that are like wingmen to me, or we go out or whatever, I say, show me your hinge. Let me see your hinge. I look at their hinge, they have all these matches, and they don't even communicate with them. I'm like, fuck you. You are fucking lazy. Fuck you. Like, don't ever tell me or complain or say anything negative about your love life. Because all I have to do is look at the work. You do no fucking work. You're lazy. You might be a very lazy person too, so be careful. If you get out of this relationship, you may find out, oh fuck, I am a lazy motherfucker when it comes to love. really does buy happiness. Because if you are lonely and you want a play toy that moves and is fully automated and flexible, guess what? Women can be bought. That is it's kind of it's a negative thing to say because it's kind of anti-love. Okay. Well, then what I'm trying to tell you is, it's all very superficial. But when you have a real relationship, it's not superficial. Like if you're transparent with this person, and she's transparent with you, you have a real relationship, even if it's uncomfortable at times. And that is a great thing. It's a very valuable thing, and it's a very rare thing. So do not dismiss it or casually just, lose it. Because trust me, as someone who has lost many valuable things in this life, you do not know what you have until you lose it. And then you're like, I had that. Guess what? I got nothing. And you're like, it was better to have it than it is to have nothing. No, we can't. I'm taking a break. I got to head out of my house for the way. The girl that I got engaged to, is on and off, but totally years. She married her neighbor and multiple kids with him. And he's a very successful guy. And she married rich. She married a guy very successful. And I was just the one of her boyfriends, who happened to fucking engage her. But so it's like, no harm, no foul. I didn't do anything wrong. And they didn't tell her about it. I was just like, you know what? All my friends were getting married. I decided to throw my hat in the ring. I don't want to hurt this girl. I don't want to hurt this girl. I don't want to, fuck up her life, altering her destiny. So I ended the engagement. Yeah, basically, the guy who had one and then lost it. Real estate. The market crashed in 08. I bought a house for $645,000 in 08. At the end of 08, the house was worth like $375, and I lost like everything I had in my life. Yeah, it destroyed my life. I think I was 26 when I bought the house. No, this is a new house that I bought. And guess what? They have sued me. They sued me for the value of that house that I lost in foreclosure. And they've garnished my wages. They've stolen my bank accounts. Like, that is forever. It never goes away. They can resurrect it and refile it in court. And, like, I thought I was clear because my credit score is perfect. But no, in Illinois, they can come after you for 20 years for mortgage. So they've destroyed my life financially. They debanked me. I am a debanked man. Every checking account I open, if I put any money in it, they literally seal it. They just close it and take it. They can't take my VA money. My disability benefit. No, it goes into the checking account. Those funds they can't take. Anything else that comes in, they can take.
What about the rent? Aren't you like renting?
No, that's like direct. It's 1-to-1, so it doesn't even go through the bank. But anyways, the point is, you're sitting on a conference call talking to a random fucking highly annoying person who's a fat retard saying, "Can I get out of my relationship?" And I'm like, "Bro, are you even in it?" I'm telling you, if you don't do any personal development, nothing will change your life. I mean, oh really? Send me a you're lazy. That's why I say don't jump out of this relationship because there's a very good chance that you're just like all my other friends who are fucking lazy. And dude, you don't have a Hinge account, Bumble account, Tinder account. You're not swiping right. Bro, I'm on Hinge in every major U.S. city looking for conservative women aged 18 to 29. Do you know how few the numbers are? Everybody out there is a liberal fucking faggot. Everybody. There's a very small percentage of conservative women out there. But when you go city to every, if you look at the top 50 U.S. cities and you filter and you get all the hot conservative chicks, you're like, damn, there's some hot motherfucking bitch. But since you're broke as a joke, you're not a fucking millionaire. You're not gonna get paid, bro. So keep what you got. Love what you got. Appreciate what you got. And if it's not good, well then keep it anyways, because you got nothing else. Nora, do you want to say anything? Yo, but seriously, I mean, read the Davy Shaming. Make a little worry about yourself, read the Davy Shaming. Make it a priority this month. And the send me a link to where I can find it. You'll have to prove to yourself and to me and to others that you can focus and concentrate your mind and read a fucking book. Yes. But I say you need to create, you need to film, just take your fucking camera and hit that fucking record button with a video and record yourself or a book or a picture. You have to become a filmmaker. You have to become a video creator. If you don't, you're fucked. You can't compete. There's lots of losers out there that got dreams, but they don't have videos to support their dreams. They just don't. And it turns out. Yeah. Go ahead.
45. True perfection seems imperfect, yet it is perfectly itself. True fullness seems empty, yet it is fully present. True straightness seems crooked. True wisdom seems foolish. True art seems artless. The master allows things to happen. She shapes events as they come. She steps out of the way and lets the Tao speak for itself. All right, I did it. You there? Are you there? Did you just have a heart attack?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was in the other room. But see, you're not actually doing it. You're doing what you do, which is use my publishing.
I am doing.
I'm just going to give you the instruction.
Hang on.
Hello?
Hang on. Hang on. Whoa. I'm uploading a video. I'm going to make another one. I'm doing John Kitover. I'll do another one. You want me to make another one? I'll do another one right now. I'm going to bang out another.
another pretty cool gun out of my collection. This is actually one of my favorites. This is a French Moss 44 or a Moss 1944. These are extremely rare in that only 6,200 of these were ever produced. They were used by the French Navy in the Indochina War or Indochina Theater. It has a 10-round detachable magazine chambered in 7.5 French. You can feed it through stripper clips, or you can feed it through the magazine and insert the magazine into the rifle.
Excellent work. Princessia, welcome to live streaming rooms that John Kitover is blocked from.
How are you?
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. How are you in there on your Anon accounts?
John, you better be happy. Stuff is happening right now. I'm on a hand job right now for 2 years. Really, I've been giving myself a hand job that John urged me to give myself.
Did you just say that?
You know what? Hang on, it's uploading. Return to Wi-Fi.
Is there anything you want to say, Princessia?
What is
All right. Copy link. Copy link.
Can you all not hear me?
Post is under review right now. It can't be shared right now. Post is under review right now. It can't be shared. Post is under review. I guess I should just make another one. Should I just do another?
Testing, testing.
Yes, we can hear you. Zach is ignoring you, apparently.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you. All right, hang on. Copy link. Your post is under review right now. "26. The heavy is the root of the light. The unmoved is the source of all movement. Thus, the master traveler, fuck. You gotta do it. Do you ever do it over? You ever fuck up, or you don't? You just do it live. You just do.
Well, when I use YouTube, I do shorts, 3-minute ones, and I just keep going. If I fuck up, I just keep going. Yeah. No, I do it live, or I do it shorts. If I do it live, you can do what's called clipping. You hit the little
Right, and you click.
create a highlight, and so every 60 seconds, you just create a new highlight. Click every 60 seconds, and then it creates the shorts.
All right, here we go. 26. The heavy is the root of the light. The unmoved is the source of all movement. Thus, the master travels all day without leaving home. However splendid the views, she stays serene in herself. Why should the lord of the country flit about like a fool? If you let yourself be blown to and fro, you lose touch with your root. If you let restlessness move you, you lose touch with who you are. All right, we got 3. We're doing it out of order here. Copy link. The link has been copied.
You know what? If you accuse your girlfriend of being a highly annoying person, I got some bad news for you, Zach.
What? I'm a highly annoying person?
Yeah.
Wait, why?
I thought you don't have a girlfriend.
I don't really. I've already pulled the trigger here.
Yeah, you've been cheating on her with a girl online.
Not really.
See, the way to know whether or not you're a highly annoying person is if you actually just like sit down on a cushion in the sun and shut the fuck up. Because, like, when you have a partner, if you don't actually practice meditation, relaxation, concentration, and focus, it's just like a clubhouse room in the real world all the time. It's highly annoying. It's toxic and stupid. Most of our communication sucks. So if you go silent, intentionally, or you read books together, like imagine having a girlfriend or a wife and you two read poetry or read scripts from like, movies or whatever, where you create. Anyways, I'm just saying, if you're not creating with your spouse or your partner, you're probably just creating conflict. So you need to like create artificial peace, which turns out that it's actual peace because the brain is running on a neurolinguistic program. So that's what I'm saying. Like the link you sent me today about how books are technically like contrarian to the government or to what you might consider a non-altruistic reality or something. It's true. We are computers and we are running off of words. And if you use Clownhouse to run your computer, you are an NFR because this app is NFR. So that's why I say introducing and reading books on here is very important because you've spent so much time here. You have to start diluting the concentration that you've been ingesting. Hello?
All right, well, I made 3, and I'll do more later. See how it goes.
You made them while you were live here?
I just did it. I put the link in the Jumbotron.
Jumbotron.
In the Jumbo. Look, I'll tell you this about personal development. When we first met, not that we've ever met, but when we first encountered each other electronically, I didn't know any jujitsu. And now I'm a jujitsu instructor. I'm a teacher of jujitsu. That's how good at jujitsu I am.
Is it because the word Jew is in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I'm a natural. It's naturally, it comes easy.
Juju.
Juju. Exactly.
Jujitsu.
Jujitsu.
Kitover's trying to get his 20-year-old back.
John, you can't say I never made videos. Now you gotta say, now you just have to say I have to make more videos.
Oh, interesting. So you've changed reality by doing a little work. You read a book. It's so fast, isn't it?
Right, the world is now changed. We're in a new universe now because of that.
Wow, all your complaints have been retarded. And you've proven beyond a reasonable doubt that you suffer from highly annoying person syndrome. And I'm happy as your friend to congratulate you on your first step toward unfucking your retarded brain. Congratulations.
Congratulations. That was good. I think it would be good to read the Tao Te Ching on live online. And maybe I'll do that more. Just bang a couple out.
You know what's funny is there's a guy on here named Heronstone, and he's like an Alan Watts Buddhist kind of guy, but he's super pessimistic, and he thinks America is going to dissolve, that all world governments are going to dissolve. He's got really like apocalyptic visions, and so he told I come in there and I pester him, but not to me, I'm not pestering him. I'm actually just like trying to reinforce some of his ideology. But what's so funny is like I was in there a couple months ago. He's like, "Oh, I wrote you off." He's like, "I already wrote you off." He's like, "Don't
What does
bother."
that mean?
Meaning, like, don't bother even communicating with me anymore. I've written you off. Fuck you. And so, like, I just wanted to tell you that I had also written you off, but today you proved me wrong.
There you go. Proved wrong. Slightly less highly annoying.
What? No, I was looking at my one of my friends from Twitter that I knew from like old Twitter, his TikTok. I don't know how he keeps getting these beautiful women. So who gets like landing beautiful women?
I did land this really hot 20-year-old and 30-year-old 2 weeks ago. And it's amazing how,
Her girl.
yeah, when it rains, it pours. But I will say that she was a super, she was a shap, super highly annoying person. And I think ultimately it was just like, I want to buy this, 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 I want to buy this. I'm like, whoa, whoa. I'm like, I'm not taking you shopping like nonstop. You've got to go buy your own shit.
I think you should go back to her, and I think you should marry her.
Well, I was gonna text her after 10 days because she became such a highly annoying person that I stopped communicating with her completely. Because the problem with telling a woman, "Hey, I'm gonna be your sugar daddy and buy you whatever you need or want," is that that frames the whole relationship around that entire communication. And it instantaneously creates a toxic relationship. And it's so annoying from the perspective of a person, that wants to have a loving relationship, that it's not a relationship. It's literally buying someone's body, hopefully, uh, but there's no real relationship there. It's totally artificial. So that's what I'm saying. Like, prostitution definitely is the oldest um, career, you know, much more than birthing children or midwifing. Because like some people are so stupid that they think animals are racist, and they think that animals also practice prostitution. It's possible that monkeys in the jungle practice prostitution. I don't know.
All right. Temporary.
Hello?
Temporary pause. Temporary pause. Temporary pause.
You did say a lot.
Excuse me. Just a temporary pause.
Oh, your girl came into our room the other day, Zach.
No way.
Is her name like Boo something?
Yes. Can you
I
have a
knew it was
temporary?
her.
Can you have a temporary pause, please? Temporary pause, please. I'm asking for a pause. Temporary pause starting now. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold it for 5 seconds. Let it go. Temporary pause. Number 9. Fill your bowl to the brim and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife and it will blunt. Chase after money and security and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval and you will be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. Thank you. You may continue. You may continue now. So wait, room, what happened? Hello?
I don't think what's happening is prostitution.
Hello? Wait a minute. What happened when she came in the room?
Who?
The leaf lady.
Audience. All Leicester just talked to just said a lot. He just poured out his heart, and you're gonna ignore it. That he was prostituting. He's a John Kitover about 20 years ago.
True perfection seems imperfect, yet it is perfectly itself. True fullness seems indubitable, yet it is.
Our infrastructure has been falling apart.
Bro, your TikTok's fantastic, dude. Dude, that's gonna be like, I'm telling you, dude. If the algorithm doesn't reward you, keep pushing. You've got gold in your hands there with that book, dude. I'm telling you. Like, if you could.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's very good. I think you're right. You're the man. You're a very good.
What do you mean?
Good
He's
advisor. Oh, I had a fucking.
successful on TikTok.
God damn it. Hang on.
Don't curse.
I fucked up. Delete.
Olivia needs to come here to hear your story about how you're trying to get back with the 20-year-old.
No, I'm not. I'm like, I thought about texting her, and then I thought about it again. I'm just like, nah, not gonna text her again. Like, I already know. I know her well enough. Like, we had enough time together where I know that I cannot have anything to do with her. Like, she is.
John, do you ever think about moving?
I'm moving right now, my friend.
No, I know, but like, seriously though.
Oh, you're talking to yourself. You're doing what highly annoying people do, is project onto me. Okay, just continue reading your book. Hello? What you're doing with highly annoying.
What are you doing, Zach? Just posting stuff on TikTok?
Alright, I guess you gotta do it again.
What are you doing?
What?
Big gun? What are you doing?
I gotta reread this thing because it didn't work.
Okay.
Mention cars? Who the fuck's that?
Horrible.
Wait,
I
sorry.
agree with him in that, I mean, preaching doom is never a good idea.
Doom. That's like the inevitability of what's gonna happen. Not even
Well, then, horrible, then why are you still breathing?
I don't think it's
because I know what my value doesn't come from.
Chase after money and security, and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval, be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity.
Well, see, Princess, you see what this guy's doing right now? Is he's creating content gold for people who will come across this room, come across this content and say, holy shit, what the fuck is this? Is some, like, magic. This sounds...
What is he talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, this is my favorite one. Wait, another one. I'm going to do another one. This is my favorite.
This is my favorite one. I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite. This one is good. 56. Those who know don't talk. Those who talk don't know. Close your mouth, block off your senses, blunt your sharpness, untie your knots, soften your glare, settle your dust. This is the primal identity. Be like the Tao. It can't be approached or withdrawn from, benefited or harmed, honored or brought into disgrace. It gives itself up continually. That is why it endures. All right, continue, please. That's 56. Boom, 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 boom.
See, Nora's response of boom, 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 which means that she didn't even think about what you read. And so she's, not on the way like you and me, but good luck, Nora. If you would have understood.
I hate to say it.
Hello?
This is going to be the
Last time, but it keeps adding this music, so I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to do number 9, starting now. Number 9. Fill your bowl to the brim, and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife, and it will blunt. Chase after money and security, and will never unclench. Care about people's approval, and you will be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back. The only path to serenity. All right, it keeps wanting to add this music. All right, but now I've done it without the music, so you may continue. And I think I'm going to stop for the day because I do have to go back into my automobile.
Well, thank you, my friend.
5. That was 5 in a row.
Well, thank you, my friend.
I think that you're right. I mean, it's definitely not a bad use of time. It's definitely not bad content. It's in fact really good content. It's very useful. It's not just the Tao Te Ching. There's a lot of wisdom books, and there's a lot of wisdom in the books. Sorry, I'm hiccuping here.
Would it be amazing if, you resolve all your problems, financial, geographic, love, because, you started reading books on TikTok and your TikTok becomes a big success and you're like, bro, you changed my life. I was like,
crazy.
Well, you were a SHAP, NFR, ESL, and I just...
You were an ESL NFR SHAP, but then I brought you out of the goo.
Yeah. I raised you up, and now I return you back to society to be a man. Just like Noura here. She'll never go in another elevator shaft and scream jihad. She just won't. It's just, she's already done it. So she would never waste her time being redundant, She's experienced that.
I can't really scream that loud anymore because of the stitches. Maybe I would try. I actually did do something similar recently. But then I got arrested.
But don't you not, do you still believe in all that stuff?
What, jihad?
Yeah.
I demand jihad. Jihad is not a bad thing. Why do you think jihad is a bad thing?
Well, can I answer that question?
I asked.
The reason why I think jihad is a bad thing is because my understanding that jihad is that jihad is about killing people who are not Muslim.
That's not what jihad is. Jihad comes from like Semitic languages in general.
Jihad a bad day, alright, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They come from root letters that mean something, and
it means struggle.
Yeah, so jihad in the context that I was saying.
It's like Mein Kampf.
Yeah, I don't know. I wanted justice. That's what I demand jihad meant to me in that phrase, was I want justice.
But aren't you now, as a Catholic Christian?
I'm a Catholic Muslim.
But don't you now believe that Jesus wanted us to be peaceful and not kill each other, and so that anybody who raises the sword to his fellow man is a sinner who should be condemned to the hellfires of eternal damnation?
There's war, and
do you disagree with that?
That's not what the Catholic Church teaches. There's something called I forgot what it's called. It's something about equal portion of war, like how it's supposed to be. That's not the phrase, where you're supposed to respond.
Did you see the video from October 7th where they killed the golden retriever?
No, I didn't.
Because that was worse than any human Jew. That was the saddest one. By the way.
I don't actively seek out anything. I didn't. Even the
You didn't watch it because it was too upsetting.
I just don't actively seek any of that stuff. It was coming on my timeline. That's why I was seeing what I was seeing, but I didn't actively seek it.
Oh, so you don't know what you're talking about?
About what?
About the war in Israel.
I didn't say anything about the war.
You said you demand jihad.
So I demand jihad, and I didn't say anything about Israel.
All right. Well, you can demand jihad if you want to, but I don't know where that's going to get us.
Jihad is just justice. In the context that I was saying,
have you heard the Robin Williams?
I demand justice.
Have you heard the Robin Williams bit about jihad?
I think so. I think you or Diego or somebody played it.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard it, John? It's pretty good. Robin Williams. He probably wouldn't want to indulge in some Robin Williams because that's a waste of time. But you know what they say? Every being in the universe is an expression of the Tao, including Robin Williams.
Oh, are you not Jewish? You're Taoist?
I am a Taoist. I'm an ancestral Jewish Taoist.
You really?
Hey, I just want to say that Noura, you are low IQ, unfortunately. You are like a jihad. You are a jihadist, and you are again. I just can't reiterate how low IQ you are for your own well-being, because I want to help you. Well, hold on. Hold on. No, I'm about to tell you why you're retarded. Just listen carefully. It'll be delicate and polite. Please hold. It's only because I read books that I'm able to I'm only able to correct your retardation, and it will be quick. When you say that jihad means justice, you are. Please hold. Please hold.
Listen, otherwise you'll be a shap. You'll be at risk.
Yeah. Yeah. And we know you are a shap.
Don't be low IQ.
Please hold. You're both being shaps. Okay? It's just 3 words I need to get out. It's not just justice. It's also truth and peace. So when you say I demand justice, what you're really saying is I demand peace. So remember that, retard. I am complete.
No racist police.
No, justice and peace is jihad mixed with truth. So you need justice and peace.
Jihad
justice with peace.
I'm just saying, okay, jihad means a struggle, right? And they'll say that there's like a bigger struggle, there's a big jihad and then there's a smaller jihad. And the jihad of yourself is like the bigger jihad. But I'm saying the context of how I was saying it, if you like look at the context clues, clearly I'm saying it in this form of justice. Like, what is justice? And I agree, peace and justice are partners. So you need one for the other. So you need justice.
Okay, so we finally have achieved comprehension. Because if jihad does mean struggle, that means you were struggling to comprehend. But now the lesson has been taught that without justice, there can be no peace. Without peace, there can be no truth. Without it's like velocity equals distance divided by time, or d by t. So
Taken position is 1/2 at squared plus v naught times time.
see, you're not as retarded as.
That's the taken position formula in physics 1.
Well.
So change delta x to this delta x equals 1/2 a, which is 9.8 meters per second squared.
Wait, let me ask you a question. Was there a 13th floor button on that elevator you were in?
I wasn't paying attention. When I went into the elevator, I was like, it represented Palestine to me, and I wasn't going to be exiled. That's why I sat.
Oh my god. Have you ever done LSD?
Why do I need LSD when I'm already high? I'm medicated right now, just for the record. Against my will. They injected me. They made me inflatable.
Wait, what happened when the leaf lady came in the room? Did you talk to her or no?
She didn't come up. But I knew it was her because it was only 3 friends, and I was like, that has to be Zach's friend. She changed her name. Scary something. But yeah, she didn't come up. She didn't want to talk to us. Are you wearing gold chains on your shirt? Trying to act like a sugar. I don't even want to say that phrase. A sugar father.
Yeah, I have some fake gold chains. That's in my PTR, yes. So you guys have all participated in yet another John Kitover experiment. I thank you two for participating. Nora, you're still a failure, but Zach here has graduated to the next level. You did have a little bit of a comprehension breakthrough with the word peace, not just struggle and fighting for what you perceive as your perspective justice. But see, the thing is, without peace, there really can't be any truth. So I pray for peace in your personal life, not just the international global political situation, but individually. Because the whole thing ultimately gets broken down individually. And, if you can't obtain happiness or peace, that's a you problem. And it's because you're retarded and you're low IQ and you don't read books and you just drift around like a fucking vapor, like a fart. And you just go from one video TikTok to another Instagram to another YouTube to another clown house room to another Diego thought. Oh, he's so handsome. He's the greatest fucking fat, obese neo-Nazi married to a Ukrainian bitch that he's divorced. He's got all these illegitimate children. Oh, Diego. Get it out. Get it all out of your system, loser. That's right, Jihadist Jane. Get that fat Nazi dad bod, fucking balding, slimy, low IQ faggot, gaslighting retard out of your mind once and for all. Free yourself from the Diego fart. I met the guy at a gas station. He didn't even get out of the car and stand up and shake my hand. That's how much of a lazy fucking faggot he is. When I'm in the presence of someone that I want to show respect to, guess what I do? I stand up and I address that person and I shake their hand. Because I'm a former military officer, a trained soldier on protocol, procedure, movement. Not like that fat, fucking loser, slimy, anti-Semitic faggot retard who was helping people was literally in laundromats, helping people commit money laundering.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's weird.
Hello? You don't know Robert Taylor? Isn't it amazing?
It's funny
I'm mocking a guy that you gave a blowjob to who doesn't even talk to you, that ghosted you. He probably didn't even pay you for the blowjob, so that's why I say that, like.
I wish I gave him one.
Oh well, whatever you did do, we tried to help you do your crisis control communication management, but you didn't help at all.
You're the reason I rage baited that night.
I'm not so sure what you're talking about, but this has
Came
been.
in and you attacked me while I was being.
You're the reason that I rage baited that night.
Ooh, that's a good song, right?
That's a Suno.
Holy shit, let's pop that one in. I got 1 day left on my subscription.
He rage baited me like crazy.
Let's do it. Let's put that in Suno.
Rage baited me. Rage baited.
I love Diego. It sounds like you love him too.
We're gonna do a simple. So, what was what did we just say? You're the reason. You are the reason.
Who was Nick?
You rage baited me last night.
Last night.
Baited me.
Rage baited me.
Okay.
Making a song to get Diego back.
Okay.
Diego, forgive me. It was our Leicester's fault.
Yeah, this is my last day on my Suno subscription. I'm gonna let it pass. Take a break. I think the other day I created like 100 songs in a day, and I know this guy who's struggling financially. It's not you, Zach. There's a lot of other people who struggle financially, and he has a miserable job. Cleans up garbage all day. He basically cleans up garbage. I'm not kidding you. Like, the guy is a garbage cleaner at a big bar. But without further ado, this is Thumbs on Fire. This is inspired by Nora Bandura, who I rage baited.
You pressed it anyway. Sent that little spark, then stepped out the way. Read my pulse like text, then fed it back to me. Now my hands still shake from what you made me see. You knew what it would do. Knew how I'd lean in. Turned my hurt to fuel and called it just a win. You rage baited me.
Rage baited me, bitch!
Now I taste that burn on the tip of my teeth. You rage baited me.
You rage baited me, bitch!
Left me cold and small where my calm used to be. I saw the baited grin hidden in your grin. Little loaded words and the hook you slid me in. I was trying to be cool, trying not to snap. You kept tapping glass till it all came back. You knew what it would do. Knew how I'd lean in. Turn my hurt to fuel and called it just a win. You rage baited me. You rage baited me. And I rage baited me, bitch! On the tip of my teeth. You rage.
You know what? I think that John Kitover is right. I am a highly annoying person. Actually, I'm a super highly annoying person. I'm a sharp!
Baited me, you rage baited me. Let me hold his phone spark. I'm not your easy man. Watch me put this down and never let it fade. You rage baited me. You rage baited me, bitch. Now I taste that burn on the tip of my teeth. You rage baited me. You rage baited me. I can feel the door shut soft inside of me.
Rage baited me, bitch. You know what you did? You rage baited me, bitch. You are a highly annoying person. You rage baited me, bitch. Hello?
This is another John Kitover banger. This is version 2 of Rage Baited Me, bitch. This song is inspired by Jihadist Jane, a retard who's wasted a lot of time running her mouth on a conference call app known as Clown House. Noura Princessia Bandura and her fat dad bod lover, the Nazi faggot retard Diego!
Read my post like text, then fed it back to me.
You are a highly annoying person. It's a fact.
From what you made me see.
Your position, political
You
ideology.
Knew what you would do. Knew how I leaned in. Turn my hurt to fuel and called it just to win. You rage baited me.
You rage baited me, bitch.
You rage baited me. Now I taste that burn on the tip of my teeth. You rage baited me. You rage baited me. Left me holding smoke when my calm used to be. I saw the baited grin, hidden in your grin. Little loaded words, and the hook you slid me in. I was trying to be cool, trying not to snap. You kept tapping glass till it all came back. You knew what it would.
All right, that's another banger from the John Kitover band. My hypnosis experiment has been a huge success. I managed to get one NFR to read a very valuable book today. I got another crazy ideologically person and religiously ideologically just a total fucking dingbat, but a nice person. But nonetheless, she has accused John Kitover, Chicago mayoral candidate, of being a rage baiter. I am a masturbator, but I am not a rage baiter. I believe in myself. Therefore, I believe what I am saying is truthful, and that what I am saying will bring justice and peace into the world. No need to struggle. That's for losers. That's for the low IQ people who don't have the technology of concepts to guide them with truth, with justice, and with peace. So we don't have to struggle so much, if you know what I mean. Hello? 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 All right, so I got this cool Bluetooth. It's like a big speaker Bluetooth. It's pretty dope. So I'm gonna hit this fart button here. And just remember, anytime that you have any anxiety, you know, if you're not breathing enough, if you're too mixed up with your thoughts and you're thinking too much and you're like, I'm a highly annoying person. I commit to the struggle. Just remember to smell your own farts, because a lot of people mixed up in the struggle, they don't even smell their own farts anymore. And when I rip a big fart, I like to be in the moment, in the now. In Zen, they call it being in the now. So I take a whiff of my own farts sometimes, because I think I've come to the conclusion that 80% of people walk around with shit in the crack of their ass because they don't even use baby wipes. And nobody likes the smell of farts, so why would anybody want to smell their own fart and inhale the gas that comes from your rectum? But I would just say that if you're really in the now, if you're really present, you don't say fart. You just fart. And no, you don't sit there and smell your own farts, because that would be a waste of time. You would be a retard to smell your own farts and share those plume opinions with other people. And you would be retarded to even listen to a man at 2:52 p.m. Central Standard Time on a Monday at a work they sit here and talk about. You would have to start accepting personal responsibility for the content that you consume. And the content that you create, most importantly, because the content you're getting here is terrific. It's gold transmission. I'm literally depositing gold in your Fort Knox, which is your brain, for future retrieval when you're like, you know what? This would be a situation where John Kitover would say, I'm being a shap. I should probably just zip it. You know, put a zipper over the lips and just zip it. Because you would be like, yeah, John Kitover would accuse me of being a shap right now. That's the way I would view all future shap events. All right, any final comments, thoughts, ideas, or opinions? Jesus loves you. Did Moses invent jujitsu? Oh no, who was it? It was Isaac. No, who was it? It was Jacob! Jacob! For my final musical performance, I will be playing a John Kitover harmonica. ladies, just imagine what I could do for you down there if I can play a harmonica like that.
That's gross. We don't want to imagine that.
What did the Shaps say? Did the Shaps cringe? Let me get the projection detection system out real quick. Let me hold up that mirror real close to your face. Now tell me, what do you see?
A scar.
No, you see cringe. That's what you see. You see the cringe. Excellent final projection, Nora.
Speaking of cringe.
Okay, I'm going to read something real quick before I end this live stream. This is called Psychic Development by John Kitover, a new MK Ultra program designed by the CIA, the FBI, and the NSA. These are examples and meaning of symbols. Number 1, ants, work and or activity, occupation or profession. If touching books, legal business or contract, a contract concerning work. Number 2, art card, masks, loot, ink, etc. The 3 arts, or someone who has interest or talent in one of these areas. If touching on individual represents a characteristic of the individual. Number 3, blonde male. Light complexioned or blonde man. Use your touching cards and vibrations to identify the characteristic. Number 4, blonde woman. Woman who is blonde or light in coloring. Use your touching cards and vibrations to identify the characteristic. Number 5, blue birds. Happiness. Excellent card, strong control. If touches adverse card, neutralizes and moderates it. If touches ghost, sitter, very favorable. Joy and happiness. Likewise to ship card, money card, or books. Number 6, books. Legal, business, court action, or contract. Verbal or written, pending, or to come. Depending on position and surrounding cards, if this is next to heart with swan, love, and ring in box, proposal, denotes marriage. If books next to ants, a contract or agreement concerning work or activity. Number 7, box, gift. If next to flowers with cat, affection, denotes a gift given in affection. If next to heart with swan, love, a gift given in love. If next to ring in box, proposal, would denote engagement. Number 8, building, institution, court, hospital, or large building as in business. If next to ants, work in large building. If medicine bottle and scale, sickness, denotes hospital. If touches books, legal affairs or contract, etc., denotes court action. Number 9, castle, romance. Next to heart with swan card, love. And ring in box, proposal, an affair of the heart. Number 10, crickets. Good luck, Very good, strong control card. Adds strength to any it touches. Number 11, Crown and Dragon. Honor. Recognition. Laurels. Worthy praise. A strong control card and good to all it touches. If it touches art card, writing, drama, or music. Recognition in one of these areas or a personal project. If touches ant card, recognition in one's work. Number 12, dagger. Danger. If touching an individual, the person should be cautious. If devil, calamity is near. Use extreme care, like condition if near books, legal or contract, court affairs, etc. Act with great care and guard against deception. Number 13, dark female. Dark female or brown-haired woman. Use touching cards and vibrations to identify the characteristic. Number 14, dark man. Male who is dark-haired or dark-complexioned. Use your touching cards and vibrations to identify the characteristic. Number 15, devil, calamity, the evil card, an adverse card. Those cards touching govern its strength and purpose and area to exercise care. Number 16, dog, a trusting friend. A strong control card and a good one. Touching card reflect its understanding and meaning. If touches gates, an opportunity presented by a friend. Number 17, eyes. Suspicion and or jealousy. If touching ant card, work, and crown and dragon, honor, recognition, laurels, worthy praise. Someone views your work, praise, or recognition with suspicion and jealousy. Number 18, fan. Flirtation or a small degree of interest. Next to heart with swan love. A shallow affair. Touching eyes, suspicion and jealousy. A flirtation viewed with suspicion and jealousy. Number 19, fish. Disappointment and or disillusionment. If touching ship card, wish, a disappointment and or disillusionment in wish, again, touching cards govern degree of strength and meaning. Number 20, flowers with cat, affection. A strong control card and a good card if touching ring in box, proposal. A proposal made with affection. 21, gates, opportunity. If touching large building, business, institution, etc., denotes opportunity for business. Following cards reflect the degree of importance and activity. Number 22, ghost, the sitter, the one who's being read. Number 23, goblet. entertainment or gala affair. If touching art card, writing, music, drama, etc., or bluebirds, happiness, a happy entertainment awaits. Number 24, heart with swan. Lover or affair of the hearts. If touching books, legal or contract, etc., a loving contract or marriage. If touching cricket's luck, a lucky or fortunate development in affairs of the heart. 25, incense burner, home. Use touching cards for perception and meaning. If heart with swan, love, lovers, or love affairs of the heart. Bluebirds, happiness. Touch, harmony, love, and happiness within the home. Number 26, Jack in box. Surprise. If touching open door, visitor, a surprise visitor. If touching books, surprise in legal action. Court action or affairs of law. Number 27, kettle, emotion. If touching volcano, excitement. And incense burner, home. Emotion and excitement in the home. Number 28, lifesaver. Help, a lifesaver. Excellent. Strong control card, which brightens all it touches. Number 29, medicine bottles and scale. Sickness or health disturbance. If a favorable card touches, a mild illness. Number 30, money. Money. If dagger, danger. Touching. Guard against personal loss and or assault. If touching the ghost, sitter, money coming directly to the sitter. Number 31, mountain. Distance in the future. If preceding ship card, a delay in the sitter's wish. When this card is seen in any of the three rows, that row refers to the distant future. Should the mountain card appear in the first row, would indicate that things in the sitter's life will remain relatively the same without notable change, and the reading is directed after this time elapse. Number 32, older woman and man. A woman or man older in years than the sitter. Use the touching cards and vibrations received to identify the sex and characteristics. Often this card reflects the parent image. Number 33, open door, visitor. If touching the incense burner, home, indicates a visitor coming into the home. Number 34, peacock, pride. If touches an individual's card, indicates one who has a great deal of pride. Pride being the identifying characteristic of that person. Number 34, pride, peacock. Number 35, rickshaw, travel or journey. If touching above incense burner, home, indicates travel into the home. If after incense burner card indicates travel from the home. Number 36, ring in box proposal. If touching ants, work. A proposal concerning business or activity. Touching heart with swan card, love. A proposal concerning marriage. If dog touches, news of a marriage of a friend or someone close. 37, ruddy complexioned man, male who is ruddy complexioned, flushed, or reddish color of hair. Use your touching cards and vibrations received to identify the characteristics. Number 38, scroll. Communication. Wire, note, letter, phone, or cable. If touching individual and ants, work. Communication concerning work. If touching kettle, news that stimulates emotions. Number 39, ship. Wish card, preceding and following cards govern its strength and outcome. The row it is in indicates the length of time for it to manifest. Extra force is added to the interpretation of the ship card if strong control cards are touching. For example, touching fish, disappointment, and or disillusionment indicates disappointment and or disillusionment in wish, whereas touching bluebirds, happiness, indicates the fulfillment with happiness. Number 40, snake, malice or envy. Often seen as identifying the characteristic of an individual, a low-rated card. If touching castle would reflect malice or envy toward a romance. 41, sunburst, success, best card of the deck. Affects strongly and favorably all that it touches. Almost certain success if touching the ship card, wish. Strong influence of good. Very positive. If adverse card touches sunburst, it is neutralized. Number 42, table. Tete-a-tete. Discussion, conversation, meeting. For example, if next to ring and box card, proposal, and ants card, work, indicates a talk about a business proposal or activity. Number 43, tears over bottle, tears. If sunburst card touching indicates tears of happiness, joy, etc., should the fish card be touching, indicates tears of disappointment and or disillusionment. Number 44, volcano, excitement. Stimulates touching cards with excitement. Favorably or unfavorably, depending on touching cards, and if adverse or strong control cards. Number 45, wheel, change. If touching ants card, work. Change in work. Touching kettle card, emotions. A change in the emotions. Change in the situation affected by the touching cards. Okay, that is over psychic development. That is a system of symbols. It was 45 symbols. Number 1 was ants, 2 is ant card, art card, 3 is blonde male, 4 blonde woman, 5 blue birds, 6 books, 7 box, 8 building, 9 castle, 10 crickets, 11 crown and dragon, 12 is dagger, 13 dark female, 14 dark man, 15 devil, 16 dog, 17 eyes, 18 fan, 19 fish, 20 flowers with cat, 21 gates, 22 ghost, the sitter, 23 goblet, 24 heart with swan, 25 incense burner, 26 jack in box, 27 kettle, 28 life saver, 29 medicine bottles and scale, 30 money, 31 mountain, 32 older woman or older man, 33 open door, 34 peacock, pride, 35 rickshaw, travel, 36 ring in box, proposal, 37 ruddy complexioned man, 38 scroll or communication, 39 is ship, your wish card, 40 is snake or malice or envy, 41 is sunburst or success, the best card of the deck, sunburst, number 41. 42 table or discussion, 43 tears over bottle or tears, number 44 volcano or excitement, and 45 wheel or change. Okay, that's your John Kitover Psychic Development playing cards. I hope you enjoyed that. It's called the Thai Psychic Development cards. What they are, have you been aware beforehand of the outcome or facts of a situation without actually understanding how you knew or thought of someone, only to have them shortly phone or visit you? Then you have indeed the gift of being able to transmit and interpret the psychic. It is believed everyone has these latent abilities. John Kitover Psychic Development cards were designed from ancient Oriental interpretations and modernized for the explicit purpose to help clown house retards assist in developing the psychic and or intuition ESP and become the clairvoyant. With careful study of the simple instructions, an awakening of your occult powers will unfold to the astonishment and entertainment of you and your friends. It would be well to read in quiet with sincerity and acknowledgement, appreciating the work that John Kitover has done in putting this on YouTube. Like the video, share and subscribe right now. And John Kitover will appreciate you as you develop in your new awareness. You will enjoy developing these gifts. And John Kitover Psychic Development cards may present the key to the door of mystical knowledge. Read carefully the instructions, relaxing, breathing deeply, and allowing this knowledge to come forth intuitively as you develop. As you advance, you will uncover a sensitivity to the interpretations of the layout on the symbols in depth, description, time, and condition, often in minute detail. You will be astonished at the increased degree of accuracy within your awakening awareness. Enjoy, experience, and discover. The John Kitover Psychic Development cards are indeed a unique personal experience into the mystical dimension of self. There are 45 John Kitover Psychic Development cards. This is how they work. and on each symbol, and in the lower right-hand corner of each, a number to assist you in identifying the meaning of the symbol. Study the meaning of these symbols, and you will become easily familiar with them. For the most part, they are self-explanatory. Be relaxed, breathe deeply, and quiet in your body. Be still and study and learn the simple basics of your new discovery. John Kitover Psychic Development cards are fun and exciting, and uppermost quite amazing to the dedicated clown house retard. Best results are obtained with controlled discipline in all instructions. The reader is the one who will read the cards, and the sitter is the one to be read. During the readings, it is helpful to the reader to hold an object that has been used or worn a great deal by the sitter. This may be a watch, a pin, a ring, keys, or a billfold. Vibrations can be readily picked up by the reader who utilizes this channel of contact. The reader and sitter are to sit across from each other at a table or in a clown house room, quietly relaxing a few minutes together. The reader, holding the right hand of the sitter, then repeats quietly 3 times, meaningfully, the following passage. Okay, Princess, here, repeat after me. I leave my bright and alert to be programmed for the work of creative intelligence. Should any interruption occur during the reading, this process should be repeated. So repeat after me. Princessia, I leave my mind open. Bright and alert. To be programmed for the work of creative intelligence. Preceding the sitter is then given the full pack and asked to concentrate on his or her wish. Shuffling the cards hand over hand only. Never cut or ripple the deck one into the other. This is extremely important. The sitter must be attentive to this action with sincerity and serious intent, not hurrying and with no disturbances. The full deck is then placed in the middle of the table, and the sitter places her hand on top of the deck and cuts the deck towards herself. Into 3 stacks, the first cut making the second stack, the second cut making the third stack. The reader then takes the first stack and lays the other 2 stacks aside, making certain they are kept in correct position of second and third stacks. Turning the cards upright from the first stack, which the reader has in hand, starting from the top. She will place them in a vertical position so that the symbols are toward the reader, and starting from the top begins the reading. Pull these cards as an example and experiment with the following. Assuming the cards were blonde or light, female, a rickshaw, jack in box, in burner, gates, wheels, sunburst, ants, which is light-haired female, traveling, a visitor, surprise, home, opportunity, change, success, business and or activity. The reader would state, I see a light-complexioned or blonde woman traveling in a rickshaw, coming to your home with an incense burner as a visitor and an open door which will be surprise jack-in-the-box. There's an opportunity, gates for change, wheel, will indeed bring success, sunburst, and business or activity ends. Adding to this, the reader would then say, whenever the sunburst appears, it is assured success, as this is the best card in the deck, having high value of control over anything it touches. The second stack is done in like manner as is the third stack, thus making 3 vertical rows upon completion of the reading. The first row is the immediate future, or that which has just occurred. Second is to come within a few months. And the third row represents the distant future. The only exception to the above is when mountain card appears. Distance. This indicates at a later time. Should the mountain card appear in the first row, conditions will remain relatively the same until some time has elapsed. Consideration should always be given to the cards above and below each card as they determine the governing degree of importance. For example, assuming the cards were crickets, good luck, ship, wish. Fish, disappointment and or disillusionment. Bluebirds, happiness. Heart with swan, love. The reader would state there will be good luck concerning your wish, but a degree of disappointment and or disillusionment shadows it. However, happiness and love overcast this, and the outcome appears quite favorable. Another example would be the dark-haired man card with the peacock and or art card either above or below. This would indicate a dark man who is identified as a proud individual, interested or involved in the three arts, such as music, writing, or drama. Should the devil or volcano card touch it, it would be wise indeed for the sitter to be extremely cautious to mishaps. Should the devil card touch the books, the outcome would appear unfavorable for the sitter in legal matters. Note, see complete meaning of this card. Again, this meaning is governed by the cards above and below as to the degree of hardship and outcome. If the life saver would appear after these cards, most certainly a release from difficulties will come forth after the stormy session. Remember, all strong control cards act as a neutralizer to any adverse cards. Medicine bottles and scale illness when touching the devil card, calamity denotes a death due to illness. When kettle, emotion, touches devil card, denotes a severe emotional disturbance or breakdown. The ghost card denotes the sitter, or one whose fortune is being read. Touching the tears over a bottle, tears and bluebirds, happiness, and money would denote that the sitter would have tears of happiness and joy over money coming to her. The distance from the first row would denote the length of time. If in the first row would indicate the action would come very soon. Experiment now by giving your own reading. Try to remember as many of the symbols as you can, allowing your feelings and attitudes to express themselves as you read. Refer to the number on the lower right-hand corner of the cards until you learn their meanings. See examples and meanings of symbols. Express your own personal impressions and visions with your readings. This develops the psychic. Keep in mind, practice sharpens your psychic dimensions and develops confidence in your interpretations. Never, ever read more than once every 2 weeks for an individual in order to allow for development and changes. Your abilities will amaze you, and you will discover a deeper knowledge of your friends and self as you realize your hidden awareness. Short variation. A shorter variation to the prescribed method may be employed in your reading as follows. After the usual preliminaries, shuffle as instructed in the long reading. The sitter fans out the cards face down, and while firmly concentrating on her wish, selects 21 cards. The reader then makes 3 rows of 7 cards each. All cards must be kept in order as they are selected. Proceed in the identical manner as in the long reading. Repeating. Students, practice sharpens your perception. Learn to accept the impressions as you read. Develop the ability to release. these impressions. Attitudes and visions without self-censorship or screening on your part. If you register in your mind a symbol, try to interpret this to the meaning within the reading. This indeed is one of the greatest secrets to your unfoldment psychically. You are seeking a new awareness of sensitivity and dimension. Within self, it is there. You need only to recognize its identity for your claim to perception.